What's up, y'all? What's up? Here we go. We going live.
I'm fabulous. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy. I'm fabulous.
Young cat got back, did a little bit. Now we hardy, puffy, tough, do-rag and Tim's. Kinda hard to get a job back out on the block.
Charge that to the game.
Young girl, she grew up in a rush. Had it bad, no doubt. She don't know who to trust. Every man she ever loved only wanna crush.
Charge that to the game.
But it's all gravy. Hey, baby. Shots get popped, the cops shut down the party. Jeans sag low, blow smoke out of the chest. We've got a love for y'all, which y'all don't love us.
Swimming in suburban, switching lanes. Spin up all I do in them chromey days.
Yeah.
Our kids and funny names.
Don't
hate
on
us,
no,
we're fabulous.
no.
Prepaid salaries for local calls.
Yeah.
Little dons and divas up at the mall. Rocking cold room twists, that's how we roll. But don't hate on us, we're fabulous.
Yeah. They met, he said how she was a dime. So naive that she believed every single lie. 17, first time slipped up, about to have a child.
Charge that to the game.
Was just us and mom, single parent home. She did the best she could, did it all alone. Met a man, but he won't raise a child that's not his own. Oh no, oh no, no. But it's all gravy. Hey, baby, shots get popped, the cops shut down the party. Jeans sag low, blow smoke out of the chest. We've got a love for y'all, but y'all don't love us.
Switching lanes.
Oh yeah.
Chromey days. Our kids and funny names. Don't hate
You
on
know,
us,
we're fabulous. Oh, yeah.
Get in here, y'all. Build me an audience.
About the mall. That's how we roll.
Don't
Hate on us.
we're fabulous.
We're all that we've got. And no matter ever together, we'll weather the storm. Yeah,
All we got,
yeah,
it
yeah,
might get rough,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's alright.
Oh, yeah.
Cause you and I, T-Ball, is all we need to get our R-E-S-P-E-C-T and then we'll G-I-V-E-U-P and keep your H-E-A-D-U-P 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 and then we'll G-I-V-E-U-P
Never
and keep
give
your
up, no, no.
H-E-A-D-U-P
Never
and then
give
we'll
up.
G-I-V-E-U-P and keep your H-E-A-D-U-P.
Oh man, that's Jaheim, man. Man, my bad. That's Jaheim, man. I love that song, and that is a great song to play during Black History Month. I think it was fitting, for the show that I'm producing today to play that song by Jaheim. Very uplifting. That was a very uplifting song by Jaheim. Shout out to Jaheim. Man, Jaheim used to be on fire. As Rush said, Jaheim, he seen Jaheim in the airport, and Jaheim denied being Jaheim, and the guy got mad and yelled out, "Hey, y'all, that's Jaheim." Look, I didn't even change none of my fonts, but look, man, I haven't been live in a couple days, damn near all week, and our numbers reflect that. The more I go live, the more we have more people in here. when I was going live on a consistent basis, right? We was having like 120 people in the building, right? And the great thing about it is that this community is built on this platform organically, right? So the more and more I go live, the more we'll build this channel. But anywho, we here. All right. Black History Month. Carter G. Woodson. I don't think we talk about Carter G. Woodson enough during Black History Month. So that's why we're gonna do a little something for Carter G. Woodson. A quick biography of Carter G. Woodson. But before we do that, right? Look. It's a rapper, right? He's locked up. He's from I think he's from North Carolina. Greensboro, North Carolina. Is Greensboro in North Carolina or South Carolina? I don't know. It's a rough city down there, right? But you know how we be having Smash and DQ and different rappers on here. But it's some rappers from some cities that are so good and talented that never get the commercial success that their talent wants them to have. Now, this guy that I'm about to play, I've been watching him for years. He's locked up right now. He has, I think he was sentenced to like 8 years back in like 2016 or something. So he should be on his way home. All right. But, you know, just look at the numbers on his videos of him just beating on using a pen or a cigarette lighter sitting on his porch. You dig what I'm saying? Or sitting at a table just making music. I mean, his harmony, his lyrics, his rhyme pattern, his flow. You dig what I'm saying? His voice inflections. The guy damn near could do a whole album, right? Sitting on his porch, and it sounds fire. All right. The dude name is El Poco Don, right? And we're gonna get into some of his viral YouTubes. You know what I mean? People uploading viral YouTubes of him. Just being so talented and not even trying hard, right? Let's go to the TV. Boom. Check this out, y'all. Dundada, yup. Check this out, y'all.
That raw freestyle.
Hood news. Dundada.
We sit sideways. You can catch me sitting sideways. There's something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped because I always keep a package on me. Dirty, you get serious niggas down here. Y'all niggas had it up to now. This is my year. I'm dirty, moving coke through the turnpike. These niggas call me Michael Jackson cause they know the dawn turned white. I live the goon's life and move with the moonlight. 100 bricks in the dark, I turn the room white. Greenville, we grinding round here, sitting sideways with guns and sauce, diamonds, tails. Step your swag up, I only move with smart dudes. And my trap pump more than your heart do. Fish scale, yeah, I'm scarred for life. Slanging bricks in the jungle, I got a Tarzan price. Plus the money longer than the vines he swing on. While y'all niggas breaking buds, we cutting bells with the chainsaw. Dirty, it's the clip when the cop man, carbon 15. Got more drums than a rock band. Riding the drop, man, I got plenty raw. White on white beard, the same color as some dinner floss. Fuck fat fish, scale, boo the big fish. I'm so bready, you can call my money fish sticks. You can catch me sitting sideways and something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped cause I always keep a package on me. Dirty, it gets serious, niggas die here. Y'all niggas had it up to now. This is my year. Okay. I'm dirty and my eyes sitting real low. And the coupe doors up like I just kicked the field goal. And hop off in the Tahoe. I blow so much color purple, you can call me Hypo. Y'all niggas can't get close to the door. Y'all got more straps than your moms throw to the dogs. Bloody daughter make the fatal, homie. If I kill you, only way they find you is they gotta cut a couple gators open. I've been gangster since I've been born. And these pussies niggas phonier than a 3-cent coin. I'm up in the game. I blow your fucking head off. Chopper so big that I can pull my fucking leg off. Sitting sideways. I gotta kill the track. I swear to God, I got my white the opposite of black. This game been mine, and y'all trying to get it back. And plus, I love all y'all haters shit. Opposite of track, and I got a red flag, and I got a red hoe, and I'm grinding off in China, so I'm getting red dough. Fuck a little beaner, gotta whip a red roll, in the inside Rudolph, outside red nose. I keep talking money, you heard, I'm dead rich. They mean I got more fish and bread than Jesus fed with. You can catch me sitting sideways and something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped, so I always keep a package on me. Dirty, it gets serious, niggas die here. Y'all niggas had it up to now, this is my year. Okay, homie. Dirty. Now shit's about to get wicked. And bullets jumping out the chopper like some motherfucking crickets. Greenville, that's my home, nigga, Dirty Hills. Ain't nothing for a nigga to get murdered here. I'm moving quick fast for this quick cash and keep a package on me like a nigga with a shit bag. Fresh out of jail, so the Don joined the Conway. Hit the runway and hollered fam off in Conway. This the Don way, matter of fact the Don day. And I only move 2 blocks like a pawn play. This my day off and don't feel like touching nothing. But I got some cocaine that's jumping like she double dutching. You can catch me sitting sideways, something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped, cause I always keep a package on me. Every day, it gets serious, niggas die here. Y'all niggas had it up to now, this is my year.
Man. Fire. Like the type of talent some of these guys be having, man, be extraordinary. Yeah, I definitely hear Scarface in that. Definitely. Definitely hear Scarface in that, man. Like you can definitely hear that. But his rhyme patterns, his flow, the syncopation with his beats, like even even him talking in between his verses, right? Man, he got that shit down pat. That shit be flawless sometimes. I'm gonna play another one. The fuck? I'm in the middle of a show. I don't care. My bad, y'all. Um, let's drop another one. Let me see. Oh, they said he got a song with Scarface. That's awesome.
Grown man shit.
Hold on. Damn, it seems like everybody in here know who he is. That's what's up. That's what's up. This one is called "The Song to God." Now this gonna be like a story, or like he's having a conversation with God about the things that he doing. Now remember, he's doing this right on a porch. He's not in the studio. None of this is, man. This is pure talent, y'all.
Introduce yourself first. Introduce yourself.
I already know who them niggas don't know me. They don't know me. Goddamn, by the time you finish listening to this, I'm gonna be your baby. Favorite rapper. Favorite rapper.
He locked up, Chief
Favorite
X.
rapper.
Dundada.
He got 8 years.
Hood news.
Like, goddamn.
Greenville.
Lord, I want to talk to you one time. Lord, you know you my nigga, right? They say you don't gotta come to you with no fancy prayers and all that shit. You know what's on my heart, shit. I'm gonna tell you what's on my heart. Can you talk back to me? I'm just saying, man, please be alright with me. Cause this is my life. There's something wrong with how I'm living. Hey, BK, watch how I kill this bitch. Lord, I don't know why. Please, if I'm wrong, then Lord, forgive me. Check this out right here, okay? Now this is my life. Then why the fuck you worried about it? I ain't worrying about it. Why the fuck y'all worrying about it? I'm living. My destiny's what a cash is. Destiny's like a play, gotta be played to the last act. Matter of fact, survival was my forte. The name of the game is aggression. Fuck what the world say. My life is real. Cat luck, I gotta die 9 times to live. Lord, please forgive my fuck continuous girl. Blowing purple, taking trips to the end of the world. Lord have mercy on my soul. I roll with an army. Blowing purple blunt so fat, they thought I was smoking Barney. Damu. I love it to death. Died as a pit bull. Riding around serving straight raw like a skint bull. I'm a hustler, but I leave you all dead. Mr. Clean Streets, cleaner than Mr. Clean Ballhead. Plus I'm all red, blooded than a motherfucker. Married to the game, so I know the streets love me. Lord, when you judge, I know my jail is hell. I'm going down to Satan with my blow drove and scales. Me and Satan gonna sniff. I'ma blow the drove with my thug homies. We don't need no lighter. We in hell, homie. Pull on it. Something wrong with how I'm living. Lord, I don't know why. Please, if I'm wrong, then Lord, forgive me. Lord, can you talk to me one time? Check this out right here, though. Check this out. Now, Father, who art in heaven, please save me, son. Bless me, Father, for I thank you. I ain't trying to burn. Son, you give your soul to me. You have eternal life. No more worried about the struggle. You will finally see the light. Lord, I prayed every day, but the pain don't end. Prayed before I went to court and wound up in the pen. My beloved child, faith is how the blessing come in. You gotta believe in your heart. I sent my son to die for your sin. I don't know. I don't get it, Lord. Talk to me. How can I have faith in something I just can't see? This is a small example, son. Listen very closely. You can't see oxygen, but you believe you can breathe. Help me, God. See my situation I'm facing, got me encasing, embracing. In hell is where you gonna place me. I give you blessing and lesson. You take my message for granted. Disrespecting my essence. I can't have you in heaven. Lord, you say you forgive for everything, and I know you don't lie. You forgive them while we still go to hell when we die. That's a good one, Randry, because I do forgive for everything. But if you keep doing the same, then I'm forgiving in vain. My life. And I know I'm doing dirt, Lord. Only got a couple bricks. Forgive me while I get them off. Forgave you for that hair run. Forgave you for that little charge. Forgave you for that hair run. I knew you'd be a dope boy. I'm living. Thank you one more time. I had to give you a piece of my mind. If I'm wrong, then Lord, forgive me. Yo, this is my life. Just talk to the Lord one time. I want some grown man shit. You know what I'm saying? Grown man shit.
Man, listen, man. That type talent right there, man. For me, that type of shit is just super impressive, right? Super impressive. Even the content, right, that he rap about. His lyrics, right? Like I said, his flow, his rhyme patterns. Yo, that dude is awesome, man. Like, that's crazy that he got locked up right when people started to recognize him, right? Right when people started to recognize him is when, he caught time. Crazy. right? Super talented. I'm gonna play one more. I'm gonna find one more that but let's see. Um, I like that Married to the Game. That Married to the Game is dope. I'm gonna find the song with Scarface. I'm gonna find that. But let's check this one out first. And then we gotta get into Black History Month and Carter G. Woodson, y'all. I just wanted to start the show off a little fun. You know what I mean? And just keep this dude in everybody's mind, because when he come home, I want to see him do something with his talent. I really do. Super talented. All right, let's get into this one. This one is called Married to the Game.
Hood news.
This bitch trying to tell me to leave the streets, homie. But I love this little horny hooker here. All right. You keep asking me to get up out these streets and leave this game alone forever. I keep telling you, alright, I'm married to this game and I'm gonna love my bitch forever. You got to be crazy. Think I'm leaving the game when the streets what made me? I shed blood and plenty tears in these streets, and you telling me to leave, and how the fuck you gon' eat? Love you to death. I fucked the streets before I met you. Fuck both of y'all at once. The game needs sex too. I'm only being real, little mama. That's all I know. I'm gripping wood, daughter moving a lot of snow. I'm talking a lot of coke, move through banana boats, blowing on the cutie, your fruity tasting like cantaloupe. Upstate got them cupcakes. I got them wired in them 10 grade things. Call them duct tape. Daughter forever real. Y'all niggas stuck fake. I'm a blind man, don't gotta see the touch weight. 864 got 8 bricks 4, 15 a piece. Give me 120 and gold. The rim and scope. Plenty of hoes and plenty of coats. Pop pills, dump real, plenty of smoke. The game my wife, that's my reason, homie. The streets fucking everybody, but I don't care if she cheating on me. Keep asking me to get up out these streets and leave this game alone forever. But I keep telling you, alright, I'm married to this game and I'm gonna love my bitch forever. Okay, they say I changed on them, didn't keep it real on them. Fuck changed out $100 bill on them. Cop the pretty coupe and put some big wheels on it. Pretty doors up like my car got big eels on it. It's real, homie, it's gutter, I hope you listen. Remember time when daughter didn't have no pot to piss in. Apropos Dawn got a mission for strictly flipping the rest of my Pyrex, and they told me to turn my wrist in. I'm talking numbers, pure cash, man. My trap bumped like I done dry shaved on some bad skin. Daughter on everything, plus I'm getting plenty mail. All y'all can say that damn daughter hell when he will. Caramel coupe, candy sweating, raisin sand, chocolate seats and wood grain. The side look like raisin bran. I play the game, loyal, stay high like raisin hands. Plant the streets with my music, so now I'm raising grands. I got a blazing plan, more stupid with Asian bands. I made the am to see cocaine really made my hands. Amazing man, Mr. Dun Dada Dada I am. Apoko Dun Dun Dada hotter than desert sand. I switched the paint and painted the parrot feathers. Then set that bitch on my 30s and I ghost framed the Chinese letters. Keep asking me to get up out these streets and leave this game alone forever. I keep telling you, alright, I'm married to this game and I'm gonna love my bitch forever. Somebody better grab me, but they gonna let me loose. Been up 6 days straight hustling, smelling like a moose. When I came back through, I copied your fruity coupe. Wiggle my dick in the bitch's mouth like a losing tooth. Y'all see me pushing through, kissing on that cushion goose, dropping birds in the water and call it chicken noodle soup. That ain't your usual. Partner, my swag is beautiful. Blowing like a trumpet, the reaper smelling like poodle poo. Chevy sitting pitiful. pitiful. 30s on my vehicle, drop black and white with the stripes. I call it Beetlejuice. Homie, if I beat with you, know what the heater do. Better go to church, I leave you holier than a preacher suit. Y'all niggas faking. Done dollars a full goon. I'm leaning off that cushion high as a full moon. I'm getting crazy paper from moving this crazy power. In the club with more bottles than 30 baby showers. I got so much money, I'm buying money. I got a meal in my homie, I'm crying money. Hey, your girl started liking the dog. I had her ass bent over like she hiking the ball. Don't like me at all. Hustler, my team major. You give me 4 winner, baby, I whip into a teenager like you. That's, you know what I mean? Get yourself together. Out these
Yo,
streets.
that shit crazy. That shit dope as I don't know what. Y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy. All right, y'all. Let's get this show started. Who we got in the building? We got first up, we got my man S. Rush in the building, 504 top level. We got Everything is Everything. We got Donnie Williams, El Lord Indian Pigeon Feather Bay is in the building. That's right. We got Raymond. We got, who else we got in here? Christopher. Christopher said, keep up the good work, chef. I appreciate that. We got W. Walker L. Man, we got Chief X. We got Yahoo Drums. We got Contrarian Thinker. We got Rakim 777 is in the building. Zoo, what up? Mitch, what up? Jody Breeze. We got Tamika and we got Dr. Boonab, right? We got all the fish-eye fools in here tonight. That's what I like. That's what I like to see. Glad y'all tapped in with y'all boy. I know I ain't been live in a few days. I've been super tired, super busy, right? But we here. So let's get into this. All right, let's get into this. Let's do this for a lot of times during Black History Month, we just talk about Black history. And we don't give enough credit to the people who founded and started Black History Month. And when you talk about the origin of Black History Month, one person comes to mind and stands above the rest. Now, is he my favorite historian or educator? No, he's not. But his work that he put in establishing Black history, right, has to be noted. And that's none other than the indelible Carter G. Woodson. All right. It's none other than Carter G. Woodson. So, what do we want to go through first? Carter G. Woodson. Let's do Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson is often hailed as the father of Black history. He played a pivotal role in elevating the historical narrative of African Americans in the United States. His early life, education, and career laid the foundation for a remarkable journey that will ultimately lead to the establishment of Black History Month. Carter G. Woodson was born in 1875, December 19th, 1875, in New Carrollton, Virginia. Carter G. Woodson's parents were both former slaves. Facing the challenges of poverty and limited access to education, they say Woodson was driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Largely, he was self-educated. Carter G. Woodson, if I'm not mistaken, Carter G. Woodson didn't enter high school until he was 20 years old. I'm going to say that again. Carter G. Woodson didn't enter high school until he was 20 years old. That's when he started high school. He was helping to take care of his family at a very early age. He had went and worked in the coal mines in Virginia, right? So he didn't have time for education. He was an avid reader, right? He would read all of the time, so he was educating himself. He had the opportunity to go to high school, and he took that opportunity at the age of 20 to go to high school. All right. Where we at? All right. He worked as a miner and a railroad worker, saving enough money to attend high school and later the prestigious Harvard University. So, Carter G. Woodson went to Harvard University. He went to the University of Chicago, right? He earned bachelor's, master's, and PhDs in the most prestigious colleges in the United States. All right. He also founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. Carter G. Woodson believed that understanding and celebrating African American history was essential for fostering a sense of pride and identity among African Americans, or Black Americans, as they said at that time. All right. In 1926, Woodson initiated Negro History Week, choosing the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Hold on, give me a second. Let me get this dog, y'all. I'm back. I apologize. Goddamn, I got a little Frenchie, man, and he the only dog I can't train, yo, to something is maybe his brain is small. I don't know what's going on, but he crazy. And he picked with the other two big dogs all day, all night. All right, let's get back to this. All right, so where was he at? All right, in 1926, Woodson initiated Negro History Week, choosing the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. The week was dedicated to recognize and celebrating the achievements of Black Americans, providing an annual opportunity to highlight their contributions to the nation's history. All right. The idea of Negro History Week gained popularity and continued to evolve. In 1976, as a result of the tireless efforts of Woodson and other advocates, President Gerald Ford officially recognized February as Black History Month. All right. The expansion from a week to a month allowed for a more comprehensive exploration of Black history and culture, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation. Carter G. Woodson's journey from humble beginnings to becoming an influential scholar and advocate for Black history is an inspiring testament to the power of education and perseverance. His legacy lives on through the ongoing celebrations of Black History Month, serving as a reminder of the importance of acknowledging, understanding, and celebrating the diverse contributions of African Americans throughout the history of the nation of the United States of America. And that's Carter G. Woodson, y'all. You know what I mean? That's Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson was a catalyst, right, for Black History Month. Black History Month, also known as African American Heritage Month. They start giving it a couple different names, but the one that just sticks most is BHM, Black History Month, right? It stands as a powerful tribute to the achievements, struggles, and contributions of African Americans throughout history. Its roots run deep, intertwined with the efforts of individuals who sought to bring attention to the often overlooked history of the Black community. All right, so in this show today, we will delve into the origin of Black History Month and the key figures who played the pivotal role in its establishments. All right. Before the official recognition of Black History Month, several precursors paved the way for its inception. Carter G. Woodson, widely recognized as the father of Black history, played a crucial role because in 1926 he initiated Negro History Week, right? The momentum continued to build, like we said, into 1976. And in 1976, President Ford turned Negro History Week into Black History Month. All right. We learned that the choice of February, the reason why it's in February is because Carter G. Woodson put Black History Week to honor Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two people that he felt as though were, and at his time was key contributors to the success of the so-called Negro in America at that time. So he wanted to honor them. All right. Over the years, Black History Month has evolved from its initial focus on the achievements of a few notable figures to a broader celebration that encompasses various aspects of Black culture, history, and contributions across different fields, educational institutions, community organizations, and individuals actively participate in events, lectures, and exhibits to honor the legacy of Black Americans. All right? Black History Month stands as a testament to the enduring spirit, resilience, and contributions of the Black community throughout history. From its humble beginnings as Negro History Week to its official recognition as Black History Month, this celebration reflects the ongoing journey towards understanding, appreciation, and inclusivity. As we delve into the rich tapestry of Black history, let us not only commemorate the achievements, but also commit to fostering a more inclusive and equitable future for all. Black History Month, y'all. Now, we let's talk about whether Black History Month should include more than just African Americans. Now, it's been stated on numerous shows and on this show that Black History Month was particularly for African Americans. All right. It was an African American thing initially. But I think Black African American history or Black History Month can evolve, right? The same way that it evolved from being a week to a month, so can it evolve to talk about blacks outside of America. And I always celebrated Black History Month more inclusive, right? It was a more inclusive thing for me always. I'm 44 years old. So my teachers in the 80s and 90s were children during the civil rights movement, right? My parents were children during the civil rights movement. So my teachers was around the same age as my parents. All right. So they went to college. They were in school and going to college. They was in school and going to college during the civil rights movement. All right. So, in the 70s, they were in school. My teachers were still in school, so they were very impressionable. So, 76, Black History Week became Black History Month, and it became recognized by the United States by President Ford. Now, I didn't start school until the 80s, right? So in the 80s and in the 90s, those young teachers that were impressed by the civil rights movement and grew up in the 70s, when they came into these schools and they was teaching young black kids in the 80s and the 90s, they had a lot of ties and fervor that they had for Black History Month. So they really taught us Black history. They celebrated Black history, right? We had Black history the whole month, right? It was all type of programs in school. We had guest speakers, we had Black history plays, and every day on the PTA system, on the intercoms, they were reading Black history facts, and every subject that you was dealing with had a different black, that so-called African American, who achieved some notoriety in those different fields. So if we were studying history, they would talk about blacks in history. If we were studying if we in our math classes, we would talk about different mathematicians. This dude said I'm dressed like Anthony Allen. And no, this a flannel, man. It's cold up here. It snowed last night, right? So if we was in chemistry, we learned about blacks that participated in chemistry, right? So the whole curriculum during February, back in the 80s and 90s when I was in school, was geared around, and I live in a black city, right? It was geared around, and we had black teachers. So it was geared around Black History Month for sure, right? So Black History Month meant a lot to me, right? But the whole thing is, it became repetitive. We had to do Black History reports, and everybody would do Black History reports on the same people over and over. That's even been a joke, far as wise, with comedians, right? That Black History Month only talk about the same four people, Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Thurgood Marshall, some shit like that, right? Um, and that's not to take anything away from those giants, right? Um, but so for me, my Black History Month, when it was time for me to write reports, my father was heavily into history, right? So I always had J. Rogers books and, encyclopedias and, different things. I would always go to World's Great Men of Color, Volume 1 and 2, right? I would go to World's Great Men of Color and I would always pick a different black person out of there that I know nobody ever heard of in our community. And that's who I would do my reports on, right? And it always impressed my teachers, you dig what I'm saying? And everybody else. Because most of the time it would be people that the educators never heard of, or they probably heard of, but they never even recognized that these people were probably what we would call a black person, right? But the history and the biographies that I was writing about, most of the time these people wasn't African American blacks, right? So the point is, for me, Black History Month always encompassed a more broader take on Black history. I always tried to be more inclusive with my celebration of Black history, right? Because I feel as though, you know, African American history is just American history, right? So, and I don't feel like the reason why I feel like the reason why we was ignored in history in the United States was the same reason why other blacks was ignored throughout world history. So I always kind of combined it together. I'm gonna say that again. I always felt as though the reason why African Americans was ignored in American history was for some of the same reasons that Africans was ignored in world history. So I always combined that together. All right? Is y'all with me? Is y'all with me, man? We slow in building a goddamn audience tonight. I've been live for almost an hour and we ain't even got 50 people in here yet, but we rocking. All right? So, I'll be reading those comments, tripping off of y'all. No, as Rush, I agree. We have to have something for ourselves. I'm not taking that away from African Americans at all. But I feel as though that the reason why we were discriminated on was the same reason why people of our phenotype was discriminated on throughout the world. I don't think that our plight in America existed in a vacuum, right? I don't look at our plight in America in a vacuum. I believe that attack was systematic, right? I believe that white supremacy that we faced was an attack on because remember the transatlantic slave trade precursored the colonization of Africa, right? So some of the same things that we were going through in America, the Africans who stayed in Africa was going through that in Africa. So it's hard for me to make those hard lines of separation when the same things was going on with the people that we came from, right? They didn't separate us from other Africans and just say the people that we enslave is going to be the ones that are going to be denigrated and discriminated against worldwide. When I look at history, I see Africans in general facing that same discrimination that we faced in America, right? So, in highlighting African Americans who achieved great things, I think that we should also take a look at all of the blacks of the Americas. That's the Caribbean, that's Canada, United States, the Caribbean, uh, South America. You dig what I'm saying? I believe that we need to look at history, in a more holistic way, right? On a community of skeptics the other night, we had Latin brothers on talking about you know, black history and you know their encounters with black history. We can't leave out Latin America when we talk about black history. That would be crazy. You know how many Afro Latinos it is? If African Americans, right? If the so-called African American is 12 to 13%, right? If we're 12 to 13% of the United States population, right? And we think that we matter as black people, the black population of Latin America is probably over 20% in Latin America. So if we count at 12 to 13%, right? Then why would we act like the Latin blacks don't matter? Why would we act like slavery wasn't in Jamaica, wasn't in the Caribbean, wasn't in Cuba, right? Wasn't in Puerto Rico? Why would we act like it wasn't in Haiti, wasn't in the Dominican Republic? Why would we act like those same slave ships that brought us here, it brought us to the Caribbean first? It took us all down South America and it dropped us off, and these people was trading Africans throughout their colonies. So your first stop probably was Cuba or Jamaica. And then they sent them down to Brazil and Venezuela, and we went throughout the whole Western Hemisphere. These are the same people. And it's like now we're choosing ourselves, right, according to what colonial or slave master oppressed us. Now we are identifying more with the colonial power or the enslaver, right? That oppressed us. Give me a second, y'all. Yo, my bad, y'all. That wasn't even an important phone call. That was crazy ass, y'all. That was yeah, y'all. So yeah, I always looked at Black History Month as, you know, for me, I always tried to look at it holistically, right? Now, I recognize that it was initially, right, for African Americans and celebrating African American History Month. But I'll reiterate again, the same reason why African Americans was ignored in American history was the same reason why Africans was ignored in world history. And I preface that comment. That comment is I don't even take credit for it. I don't even take credit for the idea of that comment, right? I formulated that comment in my own words, but the idea or the impetus of that comment actually comes from John Henry Clark, right? John Henry Clark says that Africans was taken out of the respectful commentary of history, right? So, in my own way, I interpreted that statement, right, in the way that I formulated to look at Black history holistically, right? Now, we can go nation for nation and single out what specific people of African ancestry did in specific nations, right? And I think that's what African American history is. But when we talk about Black history, I'm talking about African history and the achievements of Blacks globally, right? I'm a big J.A. Rogers reader, right? And J.A. Rogers did more to chronicle the African personality through history, right? Now I know a lot of his works is outdated. But just his outline and how he tried to write biographies on a myriad of different so-called Black people through history. He starts all the way off in the BCR and he moves all the way up to the 20th century, right? He starts off in Egypt. He goes through West Africa. He goes through Arabia. Yeah, he even go to Arabia, right? He go across to India. He go to Europe, right? This is all through history. He's doing this on a chronological method. Then he goes all the way to what to so-called Blacks arriving in the Western Hemisphere, right? And then he goes all the way up into the 20th century. And I think he stopped with the first presidents of Brazil, and some of them had African ancestry in them. So J.A. Rogers, by me reading his books, I had to look at Black History Month as a more inclusive thing than just Blacks in America or people of African descent in America. Because I think that attack on African Americans was the same denial and attack that was done to us throughout world history. And I preface that by acknowledging that I was given that thought by John Henry Clark that says that Africans was taken out of the respectful commentary of history. All right? How we doing, y'all? We rolling, we rocking, we rolling, and we rocking. All right? But I acknowledge that for most people, Black History Month is just the study and the acknowledgement of African Americans in American history. I acknowledge that. I understand it. But my personal scruple, for me, I celebrate Black History Month to include all people, right? Of African ancestry through history. I try to be more inclusive, right? It serves me better. It serves me better. But I agree, S. Rush, that Black history is definitely African American celebration, and it was started by African Americans. So we rocking. I'm on the same page as y'all. All right, all right, cool. All right, y'all. So we can open up a panel in a second. I see y'all already in the chat disagreeing. That's crazy. Y'all beefing. I see American Dream is in the building. You know what I mean? Hey, shout out to my man Sean Weston is in the building, y'all. Y'all know I don't have too many dudes from Baltimore, you know, on the channel, right, that actually know me. But that's my big homie, my man Sean Weston. Welcome to the channel. Sean, welcome to the Carnivorous Podcast. This is where I be at half of the time when you can't catch up with me. I be in here getting it in. Sean is my OG. Shout out to Sean. Sean gonna be doing the show soon. Man, y'all would love to hear Sean's story. I guarantee. Listen, if y'all like right? If y'all like y'all like that Baltimore flavor, right? If y'all like y'all would love Sean, yo. I swear to God. I swear to God, y'all would like Sean, right? Chris MVP Harris. Chris, what's up? Man, hey, Chris, we just dealing with a little bit of Black History Month. You dig what I'm saying? Giving props to Carter G. Woodson. I think Carter G. Woodson don't get enough credit. I think Carter G. Woodson don't get enough credit during Black History Month. So we're gonna give Carter G. Woodson a little bit more credit, right? We went through we went through a little biography of Carter G. Woodson. Boom! But I got something else for y'all. Y'all know I'm a barber, right? Shout out to Sean. Sean is a barber too, right? Sean don't cut hair, but Sean is a barber. I'm gonna go cut Sean hair tomorrow in his store, right? He got a barber shop set up in the back of his store. So I'm gonna do a house visit, but I'm gonna go to his store and I'm gonna go to his store and cut his hair. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my mobile barbering thing tomorrow. But Sean actually helped me open up a barbershop before. You dig what I'm saying? One of my favorite barbershops that I ever opened up. Sean actually was my silent partner. You dig what I'm saying? So, but yeah, boom. Everybody know what barbicide is. Everybody been in a barbershop or a beauty salon, right? Everybody been in a barbershop, beauty salon, or a nail salon, right? And if y'all ever look, most people, y'all been seeing it your whole lives. Y'all will see a jar, right, full up with blue liquid, right? You'll see that on every station in barbershops, beauty salons, and in nail salons, right? That blue stuff is called barbicide. All right? That blue stuff is called barbicide. All right? Do you know that barbicide was actually invented by a black man? Yes, sir. An African American. Again, in 1947, Maurice King, in his apartment in Brooklyn, New York, in a tub, invented barbicide, right? Now, it is illegal to not use barbicide in most states in the United States. Illegal, right? Barbicide is an hospital level disinfectant, right? It is imperative that all barbers beauticians and nail techs use in the hospital level disinfectant. So we can kill harmful germs and viruses, right? That live on the implements that we use, right? So a black man, Maurice King, I'm gonna say that name again. A black man, Maurice King from Brooklyn, New York in 1947 created the first hospital level disinfectant. And it is actually, it is, it is, I'm having a brain freeze. It is an alcohol, the menthol benzol ammonium compound, right? What we call a quart. And it kills all bacteria and viruses. But the only thing that it doesn't kill is bacterial spores, right? Now, this dude actually created this in his tub. He created it in his tub, right? The reason why it's blue, the reason why we color it blue, or he came up with the the idea to make it that blue color was so you don't get it mixed up with no other chemicals that barbers and stylists is dealing with. So you can see it and you know exactly what it is. You make sure you don't put nothing in it. You make sure you don't cross contaminate it or anything, right? So that's why it has that blue color. But everybody that goes into barbershops, beauty salons, or nail salons have seen Barbicide, right? And it is the most effective thing that we have to fight against viruses and bacteria in the barbershop and the beauty salon. So shout out to Maurice King, 1947. We salute you. All right? Now, and to be honest, think about this. In the early 1900s, blacks was pushed out of the barbering industry when state boards started to come into play. When state boards started to come into play, at this time in the early 1900s, blacks wasn't allowed to go to white schools. So most barber colleges were actually white schools. Blacks couldn't get into these schools, so they couldn't get licensed. They couldn't get the education that they needed to become a barber or to become a licensed barber. Before that, black barbers was the cream of the crop. Black barbers go all the way back to the slavery time, right? It was actually a flex for white people to say that they have a black barber. Yeah, because black barbers was the cream of the crop. Who you think was cutting the slave masters and their friends' hair? It was the black barber. These black barbers became so good that wealthy slave owners, right, would go into town, purchase a property, create a barber saloon, right, and they will put their slave, who was the barber, in that barber saloon to make money and cut all of the white people's hair. They will put an apartment over top of the barber saloon, right, for that slave to sleep in. They dressed him up real nice, right? And he performed as a barber, and they actually worked for their slave master in town in the barbershops. And it was a flex to say that you went to a black barber. Give me a second.
Homie, don't see him coming, but I do. Them niggas is creeping behind you. Never move that work if it ain't your turf. Niggas shouldn't have to remind you. Them bullets is flying now. That boy is crying now. But nobody hears a sound. I see dead people.
That shit crazy. All right, y'all, I'm back. My bad. All right, who we got in the building? Who we got in the building? We got James is in the building. Y'all crazy. James say, why are you using the term black, Sheffrin? I thought you was with the social constructor. No, I always use the term black. You getting me mixed up with Unc that say race. Well, I agree that race is a social construct, but I still use the term black. I still know what a black person is. I ain't fucking crazy. Get out of here with that. All right? All right, so boom. Where we at? So I will say I had to go put my dogs up. I just lost my train of thought. But boom. So yeah, Maurice King, we talked about him and Barbicide. We talked about what how blacks was taken out of the barbering industry for around 50 years, right? So for around 50 years, we were still cutting hair, right? But we was doing it not licensed. I think so it's amazing that a black person, right, in 1947 actually created Barbicide, knowing the trials and tribulations that we went through. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Just jogged my memory. All right, so crazy. My bad, y'all. Goddamn. Doug kicked the damn internet out, y'all. But we back. Tell everybody we back, y'all. Tell everybody we back. Tell everybody we back. What's going on? All right. Definitely kicked the internet out. But yeah, so man, I gotta get my train of thought back. So we definitely have to recognize that, black people have, overcome so many different things in this society, but it's not to say that we didn't go through all of those similar things everywhere else in the Western Hemisphere, right? Everywhere else in the Western Hemisphere, we went through similar things, right? The United States does not have a monopoly on black oppression. They don't, right? And for us to act like that, I was on the show the other day, and it was like African Americans was taking ownership for being black, and we were the barometer to tell who was and wasn't black. I see that be thrown around a lot, right? Even with people that I'm usually on panels with, right? You'll see Corey does it, and Corey is my co-host. Corey thinks that African Americans have a monopoly on what's black. Unc even tries to make that assertion, right? That there's no black people but African Americans, right? It's an erroneous position, right? If we separate ourselves from black, right? We exist on an island without protection. One of the main things Malcolm X was fighting for was to connect our struggle with the struggle of black people all over the world because there's strength in numbers. You dig? So one way that you can fully oppress a people if you show them, if you make them believe that they don't have no connection outside of your oppression. So if African Americans believe, right, that their plight, that their situation, that their ancestry, that their circumstances is just in a United States situation, he will never understand that he belongs to the world like every other human being. That you are not just the history of an enslaved person going forward. That you was a person before slavery, before that incident of slavery happened to your people, you were a human being. Period. But it's like now African Americans are only recognizing, or they're only recognized through their pain, right? And we say this, it's the struggle, right? You know, don't nobody know what it is, the struggle of a black man. You dig what I'm saying? Nah. If you think that a Jamaican that look like you don't understand what racism and oppression is, if you think that a Cuban who has the same complexion as you and come from the same place as you don't understand racism and oppression, if you think that a black Puerto Rican don't understand it, right? Just because they speak Spanish. If you think that a black Brazilian don't understand it just because they speak Portuguese, right? Then you're tripping. If you think that a Haitian don't understand it because they speak French, you dig what I'm saying? Then you're tripping. Our cultures might be a little bit different. That's it. Right? The culture that we assimilated from our oppressors and our colonizers was different. So the flavor of our culture changes. But the same people. The same people. And they brought all of us from Africa over here to be their slaves. American Dream, what you saying, big bro? You said, should America pay them reparations too? Pay who reparations? You mean the United States of America? Thugs, I agree. A lot of them don't claim to be black, but there's a lot of black people who don't claim to be black. There's a lot of black people in America who won't even claim to be African American. That doesn't stop what you are. That doesn't stop your ancestry, right? You have the Moorish Science Temple of America. Those people claim that they're not black, right? Do you think that they're not saying that y'all are not the same or y'all don't have the same history or plight? So the name that's put on you is irrelevant, right? The history and that tie is what makes you who you are. You dig? American Dream said, should the U.S. pay reparations to black people everywhere or just to black Americans? Just to black Americans. American dream. Just the black Americans. And the reason why American dream is, now let me go through this a little bit for you. Let me help you out, because I know you Jamaican, right? But you be around a lot, all right? Now, the reason why the United States should pay reparations, right, to African Americans is because the United States, under its current constitution, came into being in 1776. All right? So from 1776 to 1865, slavery was legal in America. It was less than 100 years, but it happened. All right? All right? So, for within the first 100 years of the inception of the United States, slavery was legal. This country in 2024, right? It is the same government from 1776 under the same Constitution, though amended a few times. Even though the Constitution is amended a few times, right? It is under that same Constitution. Those same three branches of government that seen it fit for people of African descent to be slaves under that Constitution is still in power. The judicial, the federal, and the executive. They are the same three branches, right? That black, under the same Constitution that African Americans was held as slaves under. So yes, there should be reparations paid. Then, after so-called chattel slavery, right, we then went through another 100 years, right? We went through another 100 years of semi-slavery, when we wasn't even recognized as full citizens, when we wasn't even offered the same rights as other Americans. So, you have, roughly from 1776 to 1865 is around 92 years. All right? So 92, and then from 1865 to 1972, I think Lyndon Johnson passed the Fair Housing Act in 1972. So in 1972, that was one of the last civil rights acts that gave blacks the right to live anywhere under the Fair Housing Act. So that was one of the last Jim Crow laws that we were under. So from 1865 that to 1972. All right, so we got over 200 years of systematic slavery and oppression in the United States. Now, y'all hear, I didn't use the old rhetoric of the 400 years. I did the math, right? I'm not counting, right, the infractions that happened during the colonial period of America. We ain't even talk about that. So I'm not going back to the 1600s and all of that, right? That's when England and France and Spain all had different colonies here. Even Germany had a colony here, right? And these different black people lived in these different colonies. But under the Constitution of the United States, when this government was formed, they held us in slavery from 1776 to 1865. And then they didn't give us full citizenship from 1865 to 1972. So through those two periods, I believe that the United States owes African Americans, right? Reparations. All right. So that's where I'm at with that American dream. Is that satisfactory for you, American dream? Yes. Now, American Dream says America should only see a difference with black Americans and other blacks when it comes to reparations. No, all right, American Dream, you tripping, and I would never go to Jamaica and tell Jamaicans that their issues in Jamaica are not their issues. I would never be a first generation Jamaican and go to Jamaica and tell them that former atrocities committed against them I should take place in, or it shouldn't matter because they wouldn't include me also. I don't even understand what you're saying. Like it's like you and Garfield, y'all want us to ignore our history as African Americans because y'all don't have shit to do with it. Like we supposed to forget our history, right? And our grievance with the country that we have been in because it don't suit y'all. Like, and I'm tired of having to explain this shit to y'all. I'm like, is downright disrespectful at this point. If y'all don't get it, y'all just don't get it. I'm tired of having to explain to y'all why y'all don't fit in with reparations and why y'all should just stay out of the fucking conversation. If it don't feel right to you, right? Because we are asking for reparations, all right? If it don't feel right to you, then go about your business. You don't even agree to be black, right? So it shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't even matter. I be lost. What are y'all? What's y'all point? Who goes to another country and then tell the people of that country, right, or have a historical gripe with that country that they shouldn't exercise their grievance because I don't get nothing out of it. I'm not a part of it. Like, what the fuck? It's fucking crazy. That's like American Dream. Let me explain this one to you. Let me try to give you this analogy. Y'all stay with me. That's like me being in a car accident, right? You not in the car with me, but you claim since you have a Honda Accord too, I shouldn't be able to sue because you don't get nothing off of that out of that lawsuit and you got a Honda Accord too. Like that's like kind of the argument that y'all are making. Like if all people with Honda Accords can't get nothing from that accident that happened to you and your Honda Accord, then shouldn't nobody get legal money for that accident. So we supposed to ignore our injury because it don't suit y'all, or that all black people can't be included in it. It's fucking nuts. I don't get the point. You right. The reason why we never get your point, American Dream, is because the things that you do, we would never go to Jamaica and do. We would never go to Jamaica and tell them people what they deserve and what they should get. We would never make an argument against y'all civil rights in Jamaica. We would never tell y'all don't deserve civil rights in Jamaica. We would never tell y'all that y'all don't, that the pain that y'all went through, right, under the colonial power of Jamaica is not real. We would never say that y'all didn't struggle and y'all don't, deserve compensation for the struggle and the setback that racism and slavery did to your people in Jamaica. We would never say that shit. We would never say that to y'all. African Americans wouldn't say that to no people. We would never go to Vietnam and tell the Vietnamese people, right, that they shouldn't have a gripe against their government for atrocities that was committed against them in the past. We would never go tell the People Republic, the people's, we would never go to the Communist Party of China and tell those people that they don't have a plight against their government for atrocities that was committed against them historically. African Americans wouldn't go to no people around the world, whether they was black, white, or yellow, or red, and tell them. We would never sit in front of a Native American and tell a Native American that they don't have a right for legal recourse against a government that injured them and set their people back. We would never go to we would never go to South Africa, right? We would never go to South Africa and tell Nelson Mandela and his people that they don't have a right to legal action to be levied against the government that oppressed them and levied apartheid on them. We wouldn't even make an argument against it. We wouldn't even play devil advocate with that. So even if you and Garfield and them are playing devil advocate, we as African Americans, we wouldn't even play devil advocate with that. Who does that? So that's my point. You know what I mean? Some things, right? And if you don't understand the history, what I feel like y'all lack is empathy, right? What I feel like y'all lack is empathy, right? And then I just told you that all of us are brothers, right? I included Jamaica, the Caribbean, the blacks in Latin America. I included all of y'all as being brothers of the same struggle. All right? So what's happening is I feel like y'all don't have empathy for our struggle. Y'all don't understand that we went through a lynching holocaust in the United States. If y'all actually read the history of the African American in the United States, I mean, just empathy wouldn't allow y'all to do these things. If y'all actually read about redlining, lynching, right? Segregation, these things, and you would sit here and think or argue that African Americans don't deserve reparations after we went through that shit? It ain't no any other people that went through what we went through in this country. Everybody will be screaming to the top of their lungs to get those people reparations. If y'all went through the last show I did, I did on who I do it on, y'all. What was what was the last show I did? The last show I did on ain't nobody gonna help me. See, look, Dr. Benob is an Egyptian, a Coptic Egyptian. And he said he would us getting reparations. Why? Because his people faced oppression in Egypt under the Arab regime, under Islam. His people faced oppression and the same things that African Americans faced in the United States. And nobody will ever go to Egypt and tell the Coptic Egyptians that they don't deserve reparations from that fucking government, that they don't deserve a reprieve or anything from that government for the atrocities and the ethnic cleansing, the genocides, and you know what I mean, the oppression of those Coptic people. But it's easy to sit and tell an African American or argue with them what they don't deserve and why they shouldn't get it. And it's crazy. Juju, appreciate you. Ida B. Wells, right? Last show I did was on the great sister Ida B. Wells. Now, when we read through what Ida B. Wells did, right? Ida B. Wells' biggest fight was against lynching in America. It was a Holocaust. This was after slavery. They was killing us. They could just grab us from anywhere. They could just say we did something. They could not like the way we look, blame us for a crime. Not like that we choose to defend ourselves. If we chose to defend ourselves back then, they could make a claim. And just grab us up and lynch us and take our lives. And take our lives. Ida B. Wells' life work was to fight against lynching in America. That was a Holocaust. And to sit here and argue, right, and berate African Americans like we're doing something wrong for asking the government to give us reparations for injustices and crimes and second-class citizenship and slavery that they allowed to be committed against us. I don't get it. All right, I don't even know what you're talking about, American Dream. But I hear you. All right. I hear you. Boom. So, look, y'all, we done went 2 hours, right? And we ain't talked about Black Egypt yet. We on fire. Ain't that's how I done that laugh? Yeah. So yeah, let me see. What's this about? Got a text message. Okay. It's crazy. So all of the stuff that we went through, right? For any people to sit there and make the claim, or any person to sit there and fight and argue against reparations. Now, am I saying what reparations should be? No, I'm not that smart. I don't know what form, right, reparations should take. I don't know. Way smarter people will figure those type of things out, right? Way smarter people will figure those things out why we deserve, or what reparations should entail, right? But I ain't crazy to believe that reparations is not old, that it is not a just thing that should be meted out to African Americans. Now, am I saying what reparations should be? No, I'm not. Again, I'm not that smart. I don't know how you compensate 13% of your population for 92 years of slavery. I don't know how you compensate 13% of your population for 106 years. Is that 106? 106 years of Jim Crow and segregation. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you compensate, right? 13% of your population with poor health care, for poor health care. Just think about this, a nutshell in itself. Do you know, American Dream, that during segregation, black people paid taxes for hospitals that because of segregation, they wasn't even allowed to go in? How do you do that to a people? That's their hard-earned money. They paid taxes that fed institutions that denied them to go, that they could even go to because of the color of their skin. But they still paid the taxes, right, that built those institutions. And we're saying that those people don't supposed to get reparations? We paid taxes in counties and municipalities, right, that said that we couldn't live in certain homes, in certain neighborhoods. But we paid taxes, right, for those houses to be surveyed, for those streets to be built and maintained. We paid taxes for that. We paid taxes for libraries that we couldn't go in because of the color of our skin. You must compensate them people for that. I just don't understand. Who could make an argument that African Americans don't deserve some sort of reparations from the United States? for slavery. Don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. And again, I don't know what reparations should look like. I don't. I'm a barber. I'm not that smart. But I would never deny or argue that reparations is not due. You heard me. All right, y'all, let's open up a panel, and I'm not even arguing over this. Oh, if you didn't say it American Dream, I apologize. My bad. You know what I mean? My bad. I went on a rant. Y'all, American Dream said he ain't said he ain't mean it like that. So strike everything that I said. I went on a rant for no reason. I'm crazy, y'all. It's snowing here in Baltimore. I lost my mind. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Matter of fact, let's see. Let's see if we can get something going. What's our new thing we use, y'all? We use what? The Chat GPT. Let's ask the Chat GPT what's the issue with reparations. Let's see what Chat GPT say. Chat GPT probably cuss me out. Let's go to the iPad, y'all. Let's go to the Carnivorous Podcast iPad and let's punch that in. Let's see what we can get going here. Let's see. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's say, do African Americans let's see, do African Americans deserve reparations from the United States for slavery? Why the fuck would I capitalize slavery? Slavery and segregation. Let's see what ChatGPT say. They didn't even answer me. The question of reparations is complex and has diverse perspectives. It involves ethical, historical, and political considerations. Different people hold varying views on whether reparations are appropriate. And discussions around this issue often involve a range of opinions and perspectives. Well, look, listen, ChatGPT is not on nobody's side. It's saying that it's complex. All right. All right. Forget ChatGPT, y'all. Boom. All right, let's throw up let's get a Zoom going. That's the first thing we need to do. Boom. Boom. All right, first thing we need to do. You don't like ChatGPT? American Dream? Let's get a Zoom going. All right, we ain't gonna argue about reparations. This show was not about reparations, y'all. This show was about Black History Month and why Black History Month was started, and we gave Carter G. Woodson, the big homie, Carter G. Woodson, his props for Black History Month. You dig? So let's get a Zoom going. Did I pay my Zoom bill? Boom. All right, my Zoom is up. Hey, Corey, where you at, man? I'm gonna send you this link. Stop playing. Boom. Copy. Let me see. Multiple participants. Boom. Copy invite link. Go down here. Corey probably just waking up, y'all. Hold on. This is my life. Zoom. Copy invite link. Go here. Hey, there we go. All right, Corey, I just sent you the link. Boom. All right, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Corey, what up?
What's good? What's good? Let me turn off this background. Hey, what's good with it though, Chef?
Ain't nothing. Just had to go in a little bit. You know what I mean? This Saturday we ain't did a show in a couple days. You know what I mean? I was about to go upstairs and go to sleep. I said, man, let me hit that button.
I couldn't even resist, man. The wife cooked a good dinner.
Right.
Shit, you already know.
I was like,
I will pass out. I pass out standing up, boy, after eating one of them plates. But
that's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I see you did Carter G. Woodson.
Facts.
No doubt. I missed most of it. So, but I definitely will go back and check it out. Check out what were some of the major points you hit?
Just Carter G. Woodson, his parents were slaves, right? And Carter G. Woodson didn't, he was self-educated. He wasn't able to go to high school until he was 20 years old. That's when he entered high school. And from there, he went to the most prestigious colleges in the United States. His early life, he worked as a coal miner, right? So he couldn't go to school. So from there, he went to Harvard. He went to I think Brea University in Kentucky first. I think he went to Brea University in Kentucky first. Then he went to Chicago Institute. So he got it's amazing. He got
that makes sense that he went to the University of Kentucky first if he was doing coal mining before, you know what I mean? So go ahead. What you saying?
He went to the University of he went to Brea University in Kentucky. He got his bachelor's degree there. Then he went to Chicago Institute, the University of Chicago. My bad. He went to the University of Chicago. That's where breasted in them, was at. So that very prestigious college, right?
Right. Definitely.
Right. He went to the University of Chicago, and he got a master's degree in history at the University of Chicago. Then he went to Harvard, right? And got another master's degree, and I think he went back to Chicago and got his PhD. You dig what I'm saying? Man, amazing. You feel
He had
me?
an appetite for it seemed like he once he did get educated, he kind of had an insatiable appetite for education. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good brother, man. Definitely. I definitely love to bring out some Black history in Black History Month. Why not?
That's a fact. You know what I mean? And then I don't know how I got on to reparations. I think American Dream has said something in the chat that made me go into the reparations. So
I see Chat GPT is pretty impartial.
Yeah.
When it comes to reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a dog in the fight against Chat GPT.
See, them niggas ain't figured it out yet. You feel
right?
me?
They ain't compelled me.
Mm-hmm.
We got to give it some compelling. We got to get Chat GPT compelled here.
Oh yeah. So one of the things that I laid out that while reparations is one of the legs that we have to stand on is one of the things that you're very passionate about, and that's redlining. So because my thing was that from 1776 to 1865 is how long this current government under this constitution held us in slavery. And then from 1865 to 1972, we wasn't even full citizens, right? That's when we were still fighting against Jim Crow and all of those racialized laws that didn't give us full access to freedom in the United States.
The draconian law.
Mm-hmm. So from 1776, we was in bondage physically, and from 1865 to 1972, and the reason why I say 1972 because I think that was Lyndon B. Johnson when he passed the Fair Housing Act. I think that was the last Jim Crow law that was struck down. And I think that's pretty much gave us full access at that point. On paper, so to say. You know what I mean? Not saying that the fight was over at that point, but all of the legal hurdles, was struck down.
But they gave us a pathway to fight it legally.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying basically,
yeah. So redlining was included in those segregation and that, you know what I mean? All of that stuff. So I know you're very passionate about that. You can go in a little bit.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. And we still seeing the remnants of that. The redlining today. When we look at the plight of the Black community, because like I said, we don't. I always talk about how a $400 emergency is nearly unaffordable to the average Black family.
Mm-hmm.
And that puts you in a certain position when you're in that situation right there. It doesn't promote the financial literacy that one should have, because a lot of times people got families, they trying to get a job so they can pay these little bills and whatever it is they got to do, you know what I mean? So it's hard to get educated at the same time when you got to hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the time, so we find ourselves in these endless loops, like like the check cashing places and we got the pawn shops.
Mm-hmm.
We got the payday loan spots. All those is in the black neighborhood. Just because of we don't pass down generational wealth. We pass down generational poverty. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's through that the very thing that caused that is the redlining, because home ownership is the number one way to wealth. And when you cut us out of that, you're pretty much cutting our legs off. I mean, I always say, man, everybody in the world went through slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always say, man, if we was gonna get reparations for something, it should be for the redlining. You know what I mean? Like we like you said, we pay fair taxes, we pay for the railroads, and we pay for the bridges, we pay for the hospitals, we pay for the people to do the research, all of this type of stuff. We pay our fair share, but we got cut out, so and we wasn't allowed to participate. I mean, just I was telling Brendan earlier today, like my grandfather, he bought everything cash. You know what I'm saying? And and I also watched Fonnie Willis's daddy testify to the way he talked. Kind of remind me of my grandfather a lot. How he talked about, he told a story about how he went to a restaurant and he tried to pay with credit cards, a check. He even had like a cashier's check or something like that, which is basically cash. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they wouldn't accept anything. If they basically was like, well, nigga, if you ain't got no green cash, you ain't, we not accepting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he always carried cash. That's just something that black people do. They stuff money in the under the mattress. I was telling Brendan, my grandmother stuffed her $100 bills in her bra. You know what I mean? When my grandfather,
we was taught you can't trust banks.
yeah.
Why would I turn my money over to white people? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't already paid me, I'm not giving it back to them for them to hold. That would be first off, I'm impressed that they actually didn't pay me. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the fact that they did, I'm not giving that shit back to them. Nigga is a sticker. So that was our thinking back then. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They will always find a way to keep our money. You dig what I'm saying? And then if you can't read and write good enough, it seemed like banks was predatory towards us. You dig what I'm saying? Because it would be the fine print. If you think you got $37 in the bank, right? And most of the time your check would be $40-something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a $40-something check, you know what I mean? And you don't know that there's a $2 surcharge per month, right? Next thing you know, $2 taken out of there. Back then, that shit hurt. That $2 hurt. That was groceries. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not putting my money in that bank.
$7. Like the first NSF fees was like $7, Jeffrey. Like that's back in the day, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, if I'm already overdraft, right? Here, I'm already wrote more checks than I'm supposed to. Plus, I got a $7 in it. Back in the day, bro, that hurts badly. It hurts badly, and yeah. But that's I promise you, Chef, and you hit it right on the button. That's a major issue for Black people, and like I said, we still to this day those effects are still affecting us. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Still.
That's a fact. Sunchild, what's up?
Hey, what's up, brother Chef? How are you?
Chilling. How you doing? What you want to add to the convo?
Peace to brother Corey as well. Well, I
Peace
wanted
to you,
to
bro.
thank you. I wanted to speak about. I'm kind of intrigued on the conversation on whether Black History Month is only for Black Americans or if it's world history.
Okay.
I would like to think that it's a world history. And I'd like to take a look at the words of Carter G. Woodson and what he had to say specifically. But I'd like to say first that
Mm-hmm.
Black History Month is also celebrated in Canada, in the UK, the Netherlands, celebrated in Ireland,
Awesome.
also celebrated in Australia, where the Aboriginal Australians celebrate what they actually do call Black History Month as well.
Awesome.
Even though we generally tend not to recognize them as Black, they apparently identify themselves as Black as well. And in these places, they take from the concept from the American Black History Month, but they celebrate their own particular history where they are.
Mm.
Um, but with regards to Carter G. Woodson, can you bring up his profile on Wikipedia?
You can do it. I can't. I don't have access to it. But
I wish I
you
could.
can
I
share your
wish I could.
screen.
I'm on a phone, so I'm not able to do
What is he
share my
on,
screen.
Chef? My bad.
Carter G. Woodson's Wikipedia page.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, because as far as I know, and I've read about Carter G. Woodson, he traveled around the world, and he didn't just notice a lack of history of African or Negro history in America, but in other places that he traveled as well. He said that there seemed to be an absence of Negro history,
Mm.
not just here, but wherever he traveled. Um, but I think his own words might add some clarity, even though the argument can still be made. But I think it'll be helpful if you could scroll down on this Wikipedia page, Brother Corey, down to this section that says Black History Month. Yeah. Okay. Right there. If you can stop there. I'm going to read in the middle of the passage that talks about the summer of 1919.
That's the
Um,
Red Summer, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
yeah. Um, where it says the 1920s were a time of rising Black self consciousness expressed variously in movements such as the Harlem Renaissance and the Universal Negro Improvement Association, led by an extremely charismatic Jamaican immigrant, Marcus Garvey. In this atmosphere, Woodson was considered by other Black Americans to be one of their most important community leaders who discovered their lost history. Woodson's project for the new Negro history had a dual purpose. Take note that it says it has a dual purpose there
Uh-huh.
of giving Black Americans a history to be proud of and to ensure that the overlooked role of Black people in American history was acknowledged by white historians. So it says there's a dual history there, that they had a history to be proud of and to be ensure that their history in America was included in the history books. And that calls that a dual purpose. I think it's saying there that their history, not just in America, that they had a history outside of America to be proud of, but also that their history in America was important as well. If you can scroll down a little bit further, Brother Corey, to a quote that he makes, I think that might add more context as well. Yeah, here comes the quote here, just down a little further. Okay, right there is fine. In 1926, Woodson pioneered the celebration of Negro History Week, designated for the second week in February to coincide with marking the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Woodson wrote of the purpose of Negro History Week as, "It is not so much a Negro History Week as it is a history week. We should emphasize not Negro history, but the Negro in history. What we need is not a history of selected races or nations, but the history of the world, void of national bias, race, hatred, and religious prejudice." So there he says it's the history of the world and the Negro in history. And I think that perhaps adds some context to what Carter G. Woodson was thinking. So for me, I think that he was thinking outside of our American history. He was thinking of our place in American history, but I think he had an idea of world history as well, and the African or Negro, his place in world history as well. I think we'd have to credit Brother Carter G. Woodson with that ideal as well. But that's kind of, it may be argued that Black American history was a focal point, but I don't think that we can leave that out. And I've seen elsewhere for that Black History Month is a celebration of the Africans in the diaspora. Since Africa in its own, there's an African history that is unique, and there, even if you go to on a college campus, there might be an African history a field in itself. But then the problem with the Africans in the diaspora may have lost their history, being once they left the continent, and being the ones who purposefully lost their history and felt a need or something to connect to, not so much those on the continent. But perhaps I'm saying too much at this point. I think I've said what I wanted to say. I hope it was clear, and I hope it added something to the conversation, brother.
No, I think you did a good job, right, on that. But I think that can be interpreted another way, but I'm not
Yeah,
gonna fight you on it. That was a good piece that you brought, but it could be interpreted another way, you know.
I understand, and I think that it can be as well. I would perhaps suggest reading the rest of that Wikipedia and perhaps reading more on Brother Carter G. Woodson and his perspective. But yeah, I think it can be. But for me, I like to think that he was a world thinker.
Yeah, no, his statement was about the world. It was, but I think
Yeah.
his statement about history in general was he was talking about history wasn't told correctly. Period. You dig? I don't think the emphasis was on Negro history when he started talking about world history. That was the
Okay,
point. You
I
dig?
understand.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing that interested me, if I may, is when you mentioned, I think, Brother Ankh or other African Americans saying that only African Americans are considered Black from their perspective. Um,
I was
and
muted the whole time, but I just wanted to say, bro, I appreciate what you brought out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know that was some good clarity that you brought. I'm actually with Chef, and I'm not arguing with you, like I say, about the way you interpreted it, but I kind of interpret it a different way. And I actually like when reading that quote really puts it in perspective, especially for looking at it the way that Carter G. Woodson would, the way he wants to look at it, right? I
Mm-hmm.
like the part where he says what we need is not a history of selective race or nations, but a history of the world void of national bias, race, hatred, and religion. Right? He talked about Negro Week as as it is a History Week. We should emphasize not Negro history, but Negro in history. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there, man. That's
Hey,
a thinking brother.
yeah, but see, that's the thing, right? And I said earlier, was you here, Sunchild, when I said that my statement comes from I said John Henry Clark. When John Henry Clark had said that black people was taken out of the respectful commentary of world history. He was saying, like, you know what I mean? So it wasn't that, you know, you single out the black person in America, right, and say that he was done wrong in history. He was saying that black people in general in world history was taken out of the respectful commentary of history, right? He wasn't given his just due historically. So that was their reasons for writing about the African American personality through history. And I think that was one of J.A. Rogers' motives also. And I think Carter G. Woodson shared the same motive as
Rogers.
as Rogers, but Rogers just went outside of the United States and he went wherever he could find the black personality in history. He documented it. So, but I think they was all on the same page. But since we was here in the United States, and Carter G. Woodson was an educator here in the United States, he seen the need for American blacks to know that they participated in history in a respectful way. So that was his main goal, I think. You know what I mean? From what I get from it.
I understand. And yeah, I like I said, I'm open to both interpretations. I understand. I wouldn't fight it either.
But you did good. But hold on, don't trip. When he said,
I'm not saying I'm willing to totally give up the idea that he was a world thinker and he came from a world perspective.
His statement shows that he was a world thinker.
It was worldly.
Yeah, it was worldly. He definitely, you on point with that. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And on a kind of a lighter note, with regards to saying black only refers to black Americans, I even hear it locally where black Americans would say, well, you know, we're black. Others have a nationality of their own. So, but black Americans were black kind of uniquely. And I can't help but consider with regards to the idea of Black Egypt, and the argument is made that if the Kemites called themselves Kem or Black, why didn't they consider other blacks around them as Kem or call the Nubians Kem? And I'm kind of kind of comparing those two ideas with Black Americans saying they're blacks, but other blacks aren't blacks, and perhaps the Kemites saw themselves unique in a way that the African Americans do as well in that sense. But that's
everything that you said was anachronistic.
Yeah. I think I'm not. Yeah, I can't help but. Well, I'm being anachronistic because I'm comparing today's population with the population there. Whether that's fair or not, I understand the argument that we cannot put our thoughts on them back then. Right. I understand that. But I think it was a thought that I had that I thought I would share. Whether it's dismissed, haphazardly, that's fine as well. But I thought I found it interesting. If you don't find it interesting, then that's fine. But yeah, like I said, it was more on a lighter note, and maybe just a little bit on the trolling tip. But and I'll just leave it at that, I suppose.
Nah, that was good. It was good stuff. Trust me. That was
Yes,
one of
sir.
your
Appreciate
best. This has been one of your best showings that you didn't had on panels that I didn't sing. Honestly, I really don't have no pushback for nothing you say. Even your perspective on if African Americans,
I
you
like the
know,
logic. Yeah,
yeah, the logic, yeah, that African
it
Americans,
lines right up.
yeah, see that they are a particular type of black and don't call other people that we would consider black, then why couldn't the Egyptians do that? That was you on point. You thinking you on fire today. You
The
dig?
the logic is right there. I mean it's the logic is right there, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro.
Mhm.
Whether you know, I wouldn't argue. It's no sense in arguing everything. You
Right.
did you feel me? So
Right. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. And I'm enjoying the show. So I'll hang out in here with you guys. And if anything else comes to mind, and I may add to the conversation. Otherwise, I'll perhaps just sneak out. But
Okay.
that's what I wanted to add for now.
Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Corey. What you got?
um yeah, I really like I said, I really like what the brother brought. That was very enlightening. Again, to get kind of reel us back, I don't want to kind of get us towards the other topics or whatever. To get us back, I was talking about the redlining
Mm-hmm.
and you know, basically the way black people, kept a lot of cash. Again, I was talking to Brendan earlier. We had a discussion, and I was telling him my grandfather, he would go buy shit cash. Like he wanted a new Lincoln one time. I mean, he went and bought the car cash, right? And what that does is it don't allow you to establish credit.
Credit. Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's at in the moment it seems like the right thing to do. Like like you said, well, I ain't finna get these white folks back my money. I go down and try to finance the vehicle. They hit me with 27% interest. You know what I'm saying? And why don't I just go down and pay it cash? And so, like I said, over time, what that does is you're not building a rapport and you're not gaining access to capital, which basically that's what credit is. You're building a rapport to gain access to capital. And that's one thing that where we've with the redlining kind of did to us. It kept us from that having that access and being able to pass on that generational wealth. So that's like I said, that's a real important to me, and I think we need to have a discussion more on. I think really like when you get to the legal aspects of things, I think that's the best fight right there. I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think that we have a monopoly on being slaves. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never. It's seemingly to me, everybody experienced slavery at one point in time, right? It's just a human thing, right? I know that the United States went beyond what the world said, right? Like the world declared it illegal. The United States was still doing slavery. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we could have an argument there, but like I say, Brian, I mean, it's a lot of shit going on even today, right? But legally, when you and then this is the way that that the brother Carter, you said this is the way we talked about earlier. Somebody went the legal way. They gave us the avenue to go about it the legal way. I can't remember who we was talking about, but I'm saying the legal way seems like the way that it's always the way that works, because what that does is it shows the hypocrisy. You know what I mean? And so like Martin Luther King and the boys, uh, they went the legal way, and
Mm-hmm.
it showed what it does is it showed the hypocrisy, and when you do it that way, I think it's more compelling,
Right.
to do that, and that's actually a legal word in itself, being compelled. So you I think that's where our fight is at mostly. I think we have a better chance and actually aiming, at that target. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see a real target, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I just haven't. I'm not very well informed on the subject matter, right? But I'm not seeing a target that we shooting at. You know what I'm saying, Chef?
Right.
Are you seeing that? Are you seeing a target or something like that? That when we talk about reparations, when we talking about kind of fixing those wrongs that was done, I haven't necessarily seen like the exact target that we're shooting at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, getting it's difficult because we're trying to get something to be presented. We need Congress people to present it on the floor first, right? So no congressperson then picked it up yet to present it on the floor, right? Now once a congressperson pick it up, right, then his legal writers and stuff is going to try to frame it in a way. You dig what I'm saying? So there's a process, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of research and stuff that got to go into it. And like I said earlier, I don't know what reparations should look like. I'm not that smart. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I know that reparations should be given. Now, what that reparations look like, I don't know how you compensate 13% of your population. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's for the smart people.
Yeah, so that I think for the most part, that's what we be arguing on here. What should it be like? None of us are qualified for that. But my disagreement is when people say that reparations is not due. Right? So I don't know what reparations look like. Like what should it be? I'm the way I think. I don't even think reparations should be financial. Like that don't even make sense, right? To me,
like I said, I don't know what it would look like. You know what I'm saying? Like fine if you say that, I'm cool with that too. Like I said, I don't have a clue on where I would go to take the first step. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely, I feel you.
Yeah. So reparations, right? If reparations.
It's definitely due, though.
It was due. But if reparations was given to that first generation out of slavery, if it didn't take from 1865 to 1972 to make us full citizens, if all of those things would have been handled in 1865, we wouldn't be at this point right now. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now reparations look crazy right now. Like, how do you do this? The number of people then, our numbers then swelled crazy. Now you got black people from other places here that then mixed in with us, and now they got a legal tie back to slavery because they gotta, you know what I mean? They like your family, you know what I mean? Come from Ghana, but they didn't slept with somebody in America. Now it's everybody didn't. They did that shit. You dig what I'm saying? If they would have gave
all
it,
mixed up, man.
Right? If they would have figured that shit out, you dig what I'm saying? When they first said slavery was illegal, you dig what I'm saying? Well, when that amendment, not the Emancipation Proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation did nothing to the overall. You know what I mean? That thing had to be an amendment. When that 13th Amendment came in, that's when they should have figured all of this shit out. You know what I mean? Right there. With that amendment, and they should have made us full citizens. What do you call that? Reconstruction. Now, during Reconstruction, that whole farce right there was crazy because they took back everything that happened during Reconstruction. Goddamn, Democrats and Republicans made a deal with each other. You dig what I'm saying? And they really threw us under the bus again. You dig what I'm saying? So all of the gains that we made during Reconstruction was taken away from us after Reconstruction with the Jim Crow laws. You dig what I'm saying? So they fucked us 3 times 3. You dig what I'm saying? And now in 2024, it's going to be hard as hell to figure out what reparations look like. But they did it, and we should, just because they made the shit hard don't mean that reparations shouldn't be meted out. So they just going to have to figure that out. They smart.
And I was listening to Psycho and the brother earlier. You know, they were talking about the Finding Willis case, so it was some legal jargon was getting thrown around. And the brother said, when a lawyer, and this is so true, a lawyer tries to put history between you and the actual act, right? The act of whatever happened, right? Mm-hmm. So the more distance, right, the more innocent you are. You know what I'm saying? So I think like the distance that slavery, as we put distance between us and the slavery, right, and us and the Jim Crow, and us and that redlining, right, they become more and more innocent. You know what I'm saying? It's all a stall tactic or whatever. But I wanted to ask you, Chef. And you kind of touched on it a little bit there when you talked about the Reconstruction, right? Let's say when we decided, what was it, when the emancipation happened? I can't remember.
I think that was like 1864 or 3, but the war had ended in 1865. And then after that, the 13th Amendment was passed. But go ahead, what's your question?
Yeah, so had they did right? So once we free, right, they don't impose Jim Crow law, and they don't impose the redlining. They say, "Man, okay, y'all free. We're gonna be fair. Okay, we're gonna shoot the starter pistol. Everybody start running." What do you, in your opinion, do you look for reparations then? Like if they did everything fair, we did the Reconstruction, and you know what I'm saying? Okay, our bad. We didn't know we was doing bad by kidnapping human beings. We didn't know that was wrong. My fault, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we do all that right. And everything is fair. Do we look for reparations after that? You know what I'm saying? I just want just your opinion. You know what I'm saying?
No, if they fixed it in 1865, if they would have fixed it, then everything would have been done right. I don't think that would have been reparations.
I don't know if I'm saying they would have fixed it, right? I'm saying they just didn't impose the redlining, the Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying?
That wouldn't have happened.
Right. Okay.
See, that those things wouldn't have been able to happen, right? If we was given full citizenship in 1865. That's the thing.
Absolutely. Yeah,
you dig what I'm saying? But because they meted out citizenship sparsely to us, you dig what I'm saying? It allowed years to go by where we wallowed in despair and poverty. It allowed those things to accumulate in us. You dig what I'm saying? We wasn't running at the same pace as everybody else. We didn't have equal access to education. We didn't have equal access to housing. We didn't have equal access to law. You dig what I'm saying? All of those things, you know what I mean, kept us behind society that was moving at a constant rate from 1776, right? From 1776, the tax laws, everything that was in place, the United States the citizens was moving at a constant rate up into the Great Depression, right? That was a reset. But up until then, we was held back. You dig what I'm saying? And then after the banking laws and all of that stuff got back underway after the Depression, you still held us back to 1972. You dig what I'm saying? So it was a constant, putting us behind. You know what I mean? Not letting us run at the same pace with the same opportunities as the rest of America was able to run. So yeah, they did damage right there, man. You know what I mean?
The proverbial ball and chain that I talked about once before. They are that's they kept that proverbial ball and chain around our ankle all the time.
Yeah.
But, and looking back, wondering like why we ain't keeping up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And people look at we look at the success of America, and I think that's where most immigrants look at us like we're crazy, because they look at the success of America and they see the so-called success of the African American, and they don't understand what could we be complaining about. Well,
right.
we at the bottom of the rung of that success. You dig what I'm saying? We feel as though we should be where every other group is at, right? That had a fair chance to run at the same rate as everybody else. The fact that we wasn't, you see us, we are behind in everything in the United States. We are at the bottom of it.
And then them immigrants come over here and they benefit off of those fights that we fought, off of all those little battles that you just named that we fought. Here we fought for this, we fought to be considered a full human being, right? They come over here and then they enjoy the luxuries of that blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? And they wondering, like you said, they wondering why why we ain't where we supposed to be at. It's like, you didn't, that wasn't how you started. You came over here and hit the ground running,
right?
Because what we put down already.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Speak on it.
Y'all better. I definitely I see that a lot. I hear that. I kind of get that.
But Corey, so you think about that, right? So when they have that attitude, right? You say, okay, so since you're so much of an enterpriser, right? With your resources, right? Since you're going to take advantage of the education that you claim that we don't take advantage of. You're going to take advantage of the economic prosperity that you claim we don't take advantage of. And all of these things, right? If you was that bad of a motherfucker, then why wasn't you taking advantage of it in your own country? You dig what I'm saying? And the reason why is when we go over there, we say the same thing. We say, y'all got your own country. How y'all not doing more? Right? Look at all it. Look at all this beautiful fucking land. Why the fuck you ain't farming it? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I wish I had this. You dig what I'm saying? And they looking like, motherfucker, you don't know what we go through over this motherfucker. I'm tired. If I try to buy a tractor, the government gonna come take that shit from me. If I do this, the government gonna, and we've been dealing with this shit for years. Motherfucker, I'm tired. It ain't as easy as you think for us over this motherfucker. That's what that motherfucking immigrant is going to say when we go to their country and start talking about the beauty of their country and the opportunity that's there. They're going to look at us like we fucking crazy. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the same way we look at them. Motherfucker, you know we've been fighting for 200 years for this shit. Motherfucker, we tired. You feel me? We had to fight tooth and nail just to drink fucking water. Are you fucking crazy? And
you know what my argument always is y'all live in a country where everybody look like y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like that's me.
And we're still held back. Now, y'all running to get out that motherfucker. You feel me?
Yeah.
Why your smart ass ain't building up your own country? Why? Because there's motherfuckers there holding you back. It's a weight. It's a weight that we don't see, that you see, that you know historically that's there. There are ethnic reasons that's holding certain communities in your country back that a nigga like me that's coming over there don't see. Now there's ethnic reasons in the United States that's holding its African American population back from past atrocities, right? And y'all don't see it. Y'all don't see it. Y'all don't see that we beat down. Y'all don't see that shit. Y'all don't see that it's a struggle, right, mentally for us to fix in our head, I'm going to start my own business, right? They don't understand that shit was beating our heads by our parents. Better go get a job down at the trash company. Better go get a job at the mail company. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't understand it. They don't understand that we was put in situations where our education was second rate. You dig what I'm saying? They don't understand that shit. They don't understand. They don't know what it is to go to college.
The 70s ain't that long ago.
Exactly. They don't know what it's like to go to college, right? After you supposedly got a high school education, get in college, sitting around a bunch of white people, and you don't understand shit. You never knew that your education was second rate. You didn't know that. So when you see
you was the smartest kid in your class.
You was the smartest kid in your class. You didn't know that you didn't get the proper math requirements, right? You didn't know that shit. So now you getting this motherfucker, and this is the first time you didn't ever felt dumb in your fucking life. You dig what I'm saying? Now you're starting to believe maybe they are smarter than us.
Yeah,
you dig what I'm saying?
Black people is stupid.
Maybe we are.
Kind of put a Band-Aid over the broken arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm back on. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I had just asked about 40 Acres and a Mule, Brother Chef, whether that would have been one part of the original reparation plan, and why that was, and how the history of that, how it got reneged, and the slave owners actually got reparations, but the slaves did not. I think that's an important topic of the conversation as far as Black history is concerned. I think Martin Luther King in one of his speeches talked about a bounced check. And I think that's what he may have been referring to that as far as the Jim Crow laws and what happened. And then after the civil rights, of course, if you've read the book, The New Jim Crow, and how the civil rights check bounced on that respect with the new Jim Crow, with the redlining and the housing discrimination laws and so on. But yeah, I was interested in if anyone can add any more with regards to 40 Acres and the Mule, and if we did in fact receive 40 Acres and a Mule, would we be where we are today, still asking for reparations? Would that have been suffice? And interesting to imagine where we would be.
Go ahead, Corey. Hey, what's up, DQ? What's up with you?
Peace to you, DQ. I was muted.
Good,
I think the 40 Acres and a Mule, I think with that, we would have been able to pass down generational wealth. I don't know. I don't know like the total background of that. So Chef, I mean, if you want to elaborate.
Oh
on that,
yeah. I can. All right, so that 40 Acres and the Mule. All right, so during slavery, during the Civil War, you had what they called they was trying to figure out what do you call the slaves that was coming into the U.S. Army ranks, right? They were leaving and they were coming across the lines and coming into the to get protection from the U.S. government, right? From the you know what I mean? They was leaving their plantations. They got up and left, right? The Civil War is going on. Slaves said, man, we out of here. You dig what I'm saying? And they ran to the United States Army for help. You dig what I'm saying? So as these slaves, so imagine if you at war and say a bunch of horses, right? Because slaves was property. Don't get me. I'm not saying we animals, but we were looked at as property. Now these these people, say horses, came across the line, right? Now the first thing you want to do in war is capture, right, the resources of the army that you're fighting. Now, slaves are resources. So as these people started to come in, the United States, after it got to tens and thousands, you know what I mean, they had to figure out, what do you do with these people, right? So they called them contraband, right? They called us contraband. That was the first classification. Now, one of the generals, I think his name was William T. Granville or something, right? I don't know. Somebody can look it up for me if y'all can. Sherman. It was Sherman. We got a smart chat. General William Sherman, right? The slaves were actually helping out a lot, right? They had made some of the first battlefield triage centers for the Union forces, right? So they became they became workers. So they actually started scouring the land for the they knew the terrain, right? Because they was from these places down south. So they was actually acting as scouts for them, right? They were surveying the land, what was the best fields to actually wage war on, right? You know, they was giving information on Confederate troop movements, right? They was actually digging ditches and creating obstacles for the Confederates, you know, on their march. They was doing a lot of shit. So that general said, what do I do with these people who've been such a help to us? You dig what I'm saying? And his thing was give them back the property that we had taken from the Confederates. So he had put forth a proposal to give all of the slaves 40 acres in the mill. Now that was a proposal from a general. It never was a law or anything. I think black people didn't read about that and they thought that that was the first reparations, but that was just a proposal given by General Sherman because of you know, those slaves that was actually helping so much. You know what I mean? Like I said, creating triages. You know what I mean? You know, for battlefield medicine, right? They, you know, became the nurses, and you dig what I'm saying? They was going on battlefields, pulling, you know what I mean, soldiers off the battlefield and, you know, rendering them help. You know what I mean? They was trying to help at any way possible. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you know, we was fighting too. You dig what I'm saying? We took that as an opportunity, you know what I mean, to get our freedom. And we said, look, give me the gun, anything we can do to help. We became cooks. Right. We became, you dig what I'm saying? If I got to shoot a motherfucker, I will. If I got to dig a ditch, I will. If I got to go pull motherfuckers off the battlefield, I will. Just give us our freedom. And General Sherman said he made a proposal that, you know what I mean? And I think he sent it all the way to Lincoln. I think that made it all the way to Lincoln. But they never enforced it, that 40 acres in the mill thing.
Yeah, I'm reading a little bit on it. Looks like they wanted to have over 400,000 acres of the land in the South from the Confederate landowners.
Yep.
And it turns out it was some black leaders who actually orchestrated the idea. And Sherman was looking for advice from them. Now, that's interesting. That's quite interesting in the subject of reparations, because it was just that, reparations. And if you would consider, I think it's Louis Farrakhan or some black leader who had suggested a separate black state in the South for Black Americans. And if anyone is familiar with who made that, who said that, and that's interesting because I think others have made that suggestion as well, where we would have separate states. Now, that seems like what the 40 acres and a mule perhaps would have amounted to, maybe not primarily, but you would have seen blacks and whites living separately, a majority of the blacks being in the South on that land. But that's interesting when we talk about what would reparations look like. I don't think anyone considers that as an option. With as far as even in Lincoln's day, he wanted to set up a state for blacks in South America,
Mm-hmm.
and some went to Liberia, Sierra Leone. But looks like this here idea of 40 acres and a mule was focused on land in the South. And I think I find that rather interesting.
Fire, man. Yeah, look, y'all killing it tonight. Y'all putting on a hell of a show.
Hey, Chef,
Yeah.
my man's Chaz put in the chat. I'm just now going and looking in the chat, looking
Mhm.
back on the chat. He put it says, my folks stayed with their parents until they saved up to buy a house. Old tradition. And that's the
That's
kind of
what's up.
stuff that yeah. And that's kind of a way, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the first step to being able to pass down generational wealth, right? Your parents is able to stand on the shoulders of your grandparents until they get their thing together. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the first steps. But I just, you know, I like those traditional things, man. I'm a real kind of old fashioned type of guy, man, and I appreciate those types of things right there. We ought to. We don't know the value of those small little things like that. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to bring that out. I think y'all was going in on something totally different, but I appreciate y'all the conversation today. It's a real pragmatic, fruitful conversation today. But go ahead. You know, DQ, you ain't chimed in, bro. What's good with you, bro? He might have stepped away.
He probably making some beats.
Right. He's an entrepreneur. He's a full-fledged entrepreneur.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's another thing, man. Being an entrepreneur, man, the risks that come with that, man. We don't. I don't think we celebrate those enough either. But yeah. And what about the chef? What about those slave masters though? Because I do know that a lot of those people got compensated for you know them abolishing slavery. I guess we was their property. Now they saying that your property is illegal, so they compensated them for that. I always felt kind of torn about that. You know what I'm saying? Because like, and I know this ain't gonna be a popular thing to say, but I try to when looking at things, I try to look at it from all angles. I don't want to be cut off from any information or being able to see the full picture, right? And I would just imagine like it being the shoe being on the other foot, like so, like it's instead of white people being slaves or black people being slaves, it's the white people that's slaves, right? And then they tell us, bro, like we got all the. Well, let's go to the horses. I like your horse analogy. I think that makes us a little more comfortable, right? So we got all the, we all got horses, right? We ride horses, and everybody raised horses. This one's got track horses that be racing. This one's got horses that can carry a lot of loads for real far, right? And then they say, y'all, horses is illegal. You know what I'm saying? It's illegal to have horses now. I think that's kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, everybody was down with it. Now all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just always like kind of try to be fair about the way I think about shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, I don't think it was nothing. Now I'm saying like they shouldn't have compensated them before they compensated the slaves, right? I think that was like wild and crazy, right? But I think they should have came up with a way where we could have all been fair there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I don't think they deserve. I don't think it was far off for them to be compensated in some kind of way for that. You know what I'm saying? But now, like I said, the fact of the matter is they got compensated. We didn't. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at with that. I don't know. Where do you think about that? Chime in on that, Chef. What you think about what I'm? Go ahead and cuss me out and tell me I'm crazy real quick.
No. All right. So first off, let's say, I get what you're saying, and to play devil's advocate, I always do that on this topic because it what it does is it chastises and spank America for actually having slavery in the first place. Right? So to have to pay the slave owners, right, for slavery, for their slaves, it actually chastises America for even allowing it. So yeah, you should have paid them. Why? Because you're the one who said it was legal for them to have them in the first place. So after they done spent their hard-earned money, right? Or, well, we're not going to call slave money hard-earned.
It wasn't hard-earned, but it was theirs.
Yeah, it was theirs, right? So once you do that dumbass shit, right? Now, you know what I mean? If you take them away from them, right? Then if you say that institution is illegal now, then you should pay them for it. Period. You should pay them what they paid for those slaves. Not only should you pay them what they paid for them slaves, you should pay them for what them slaves is worth now, right? And then you got to pay them at what those slaves potentially would have made for you.
I was gonna say it was potential gain.
Potential gain.
Too. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but to answer your question, there was no direct compensation provided to slave owners, right?
I read that somewhere.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen, right? In some districts, they got a law or something. You dig what I'm saying? But it wasn't widespread, and it didn't happen like it was supposed to. Because remember, the states that were still holding slaves was in rebellion against the Union. So most of the things that was put on the table for them to get compensation, they had gave it up by continue to fight. So it was the thing where, they was trying
to. They snuck them. They snuck them legally.
So it would be things like this. During it, in the middle of the war, right? They could be like, okay, well, if y'all stop slavery or put down arms now and join the Union, you dig what I'm saying, we'll give you compensation for your slaves. You dig what I'm saying? They was putting these things on the table because they was trying to end the war too. They was looking for ways, you dig what I'm saying, to end the war. But one of the main things that they wanted to do, it wasn't just about ending the war. See, that's the problem. Now we into Civil War history. The main thing wasn't ending the war. It was bringing those states that was in rebellion back into the Union.
Right.
So it was
on Lincoln too. We talked about Lincoln, and I remember that. We what was that show we did, Chef?
I think it was one of them shows on Lincoln on the Civil War.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So the main thing was, it wasn't about it wasn't so to say you couldn't make the argument to the United States people that the war was over freeing slaves, right? The argument had to be bringing those states that were in that succeeded from the Union back into the Union, right? That was the goal. That was the stated goal of the war. The stated goal of the war was to bring the states in succession back into the Union. Remember, they had left the Union. Lincoln felt as though I will not be the president, right, in less than 100 years of this nation that broke the country up, right? So they felt as though Lincoln was being a tyrant because they felt as though they had a right to leave the Union. We supposed to be free people. Now you are being to us what we thought we had left in England. You think what I'm saying? Now you are our colonial masters. Now you're telling us, you know what I mean? That was the nation's real struggle right there. And that was Lincoln's struggle, right? Slavery was an appendage to it, so to say. It was an appendage to it. It was the reason, right? Don't get that twisted. It was the overall reason for the Civil War. But for Lincoln, it was, these motherfuckers then left the Union. The United States is over. I can't be the president that ended the United States. I gotta pull these. So that was his main thing. So if I can give you compensation, he actually said, right? He actually said, if I could, what did he say? He said, He said, if I could save the Union.
Without freeing one slave, I would.
Man, you're a sharp dude, Sunshine. I don't know why you be acting crazy.
And yeah, that was a deep quote too.
Yeah.
I remember we talked about that quote too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
He said, if I could save the Union without freeing one slave, I would.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But if I have to save the Union by freeing all the slaves, I do that too. You feel me? So he's telling you that his main drive was to save the Union.
It was all about the United States, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And he and a lot of the white people did, and I can remember reading too. They was talking like, "Yo, you talking out of both sides of your neck, bro." You know what I'm saying? That was what the Confederates was really, that they didn't trust dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But think about it.
He took a train ride. What was he went on a train ride to go campaigning. You know what I'm saying?
And he didn't go to no southern states.
Yeah.
He didn't go to no southern states, right? So think about it. He was saying, for the most part, that slavery was gonna either end the country for everybody, or I must end slavery in the South. Because either way, that shit is gonna end this shit for everybody. Because remember, they had already started fighting, right? It was already wars going on over slavery. You had slave rebellions.
And they were scared of the rebellions.
Yeah, they were scared of the rebellions. The slaves was fighting, right? Then you also had whites that was fighting over slavery, right? Whole territories going west. They had a civil war already going going on in the country at the time. It was called Bleeding Kansas. Y'all can look this up. It's called Bleeding Kansas. They was already at war. You dig what I'm saying? These crackers was already fighting over it. You know what I mean? They had already picked up arms. John Brown is just, that's one story. But it was already a war going on in the Kansas territory over it. And it's called Bleeding Kansas. So Lincoln was saying,
got it right here.
yeah, Lincoln was saying this shit is gonna end the fucking country. Either we gonna end it or that shit gonna end it for everybody. So you dig? It's a deep history, man, and I love when we talk about things like this, because it actually shows that we are not one trick ponies. You dig what I'm saying?
And Chef, I say it all the time. African Americans, American history altogether is some of the richest history in human history. Period. Like I mean, in this small period of time, you know what I'm saying? Like we've managed to make some amazing feats. You know what I'm saying? I think all Americans, but especially African Americans. But yeah.
Are you
Hey,
want
I'd
me
like to add something. If you guys don't mind. I'm looking at an article called "The Truth About 40 Acres and a Mule." And speaking of white reparations, we have to consider that the land that they got to keep was the reparations that the enslaved should have gotten. So according to 40 Acres and a Mule, they were supposed to have lost that 400,000 acres of land, and it should have been given to the slaves. But they were able to keep their land. So that was we can consider that as a part of white
I think their land was dispersed or something, wasn't it? Like the southern states got kind of dispersed. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, I'd like to read. Let me read something for you that I think you guys will find interesting.
Did you want to share your screen, or would you just want to read it or whatever?
Well, if you want to bring it up, it's called "The Truth Behind 40 Acres and a Mule." If you type it up,
I thought you had something you're trying to share. If you want to just go ahead and read it, go ahead, bro. We ain't one of those panels. Yeah.
I'm reading from an article called "The Truth Behind 40 Acres and a Mule." It's written by Henry Louis Gates.
That's my man. Go ahead.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
PBS.org. It says today we commonly use the phrase 40 acres and a mule, but few of us have read the order itself. 3 of its parts are relevant here. Section 1 bears repeating in full. Quote, "The islands from Charleston south, the abandoned rice fields along the rivers for 30 miles back from the sea, and the country bordering the St. Johns River, Florida, are reserved and set apart for the settlement of the Negroes, now made free by the acts of war and the proclamation of the President of the United States." Section 2 specifies that these new communities, moreover, would be governed entirely by Black people themselves. On the islands and in the settlements hereafter to be established, no white person whatever, unless military officers and soldiers detailed for duty, will be permitted to reside, and the sole exclusive management of affairs will be left to the freed people themselves. By the laws of war and orders of the President of the United States, the Negro is free and must be dealt with as such. Finally, Section 3 specifies the allocation of land. Each family shall have a plot of not more than 40 acres of tillable ground, and when it borders on some water channel with not more than 800 feet waterfront, in the possession of which land the military authorities will afford them protection until such time as they can protect themselves, or until Congress shall regulate their title. With this order, 400,000 acres of land, a strip of coastline stretching from Charleston, South Carolina, to the St. Johns River in Florida, including Georgia's Sea Islands, and the mainland 30 miles in from the coast, as Barton Myers reports, would be redistributed to the newly freed slaves. The extent of this order and its larger implications are mind-boggling, actually. So that's really, really deep. from that all that land, and it would have been black governed as well. And that was the reparation that was promised. So, I don't hear, even with the reparations cases in Congress.
Promise by who?
Well, the president. It was the president. It says now made free. Are reserved and set apart for the settlement of the Negroes now made free by the acts of war and the proclamation of the President of the United States. So this
That was under
is
the acts of war. Go ahead, continue.
this is General William T. Sherman's Special Field Order number 15.
Right,
It
that was
issued on
Sherman.
January 16th, 1865. Yeah. And it says that what the many accounts leave out with regards to 40 acres and a mule, and perhaps many of us haven't heard, is this idea of that 40 acres and a mule to really totaled 400,000 acres of land in the South that would have been black owned and black governed, where no whites would even be allowed to reside. But that was the reparation that was promised. And even with the reparations in Congress today, we never hear anything like that. Only distribution of monies.
I don't know.
But
I gotta read that. Something don't. It's something ain't jiving right. I don't like your interpretation of that.
Well, yeah. If you want to, like I said, it's called "The Truth Behind 40 Acres and a Mule" by Henry Louis Gates. So you can take your time, or anyone else in the audience that would like to take a look, whether it was made official or not.
I'm saying Sherman had proposed that. You saying Lincoln said that's what he was doing, and they never did it. I'm of the opinion that Sherman proposed that. That was something that he had, tried to, do for those slaves. What are you saying? Say that again. You said Henry Louis Gates said the president said that's what they was doing?
Well, it was order number 15.
Number?
Order number 15, a special field order number 15.
A special
that was by a general.
That was by a general.
It wasn't the executive. It
Right.
wasn't from the executive branch. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's see if we want to read further who came up with the idea. Here's how this radical proposal, which must have completely blown the minds of the rebel Confederates, actually came about. Abolitionists Charles Sumner and Thaddeus Stevens and other radical Republicans had been actively advocating land redistribution to break the back of Southern slaveholders' power, as Myers observed. But Sherman's plan only took shape after the meeting that he and Stanton held with those black ministers at 8 p.m. January 12th on the second floor of Charles Green's mansion on Savannah's Macon Street. In its broadest strokes, 40 acres and a mule was their idea. Stanton, do you mind if I continue reading?
Go
Are
ahead.
you tired of this?
No, go ahead. We love reading.
Can you go back to the redistribution though? Because it kind of faded out, and I wanted I kind of had a question about that, and I think it's attempting that kind of answer. Go back to that.
What I just read?
Yes.
Okay, here's how this radical proposal, which must have completely blown the minds of the rebel Confederates, actually came about. The abolitionists Charles Sumner and Thaddeus Stevens and other radical Republicans had been actively advocating land redistribution to break the back of Southern slaveholders' power, as Myers
I thought
observed.
that took place. Not to cut you off, I was wondering: do we have? Because that's what I was wondering. I kind of asked that earlier. Didn't they kind of redistribute, kind of break those territories up, and that's how they didn't? Because I know you was like, well, they kept the land. They was able to keep the land, but as far as I understand, and I could be totally wrong, that they kind of redistributed that territory up, those properties and stuff.
I'm not sure on that answer as far as what happened outside of what I'm reading.
And maybe that's something they just mentioned and that they were planning to do, but it never come to fruition or whatever. So I don't maybe they elaborate on that later. I'll get that.
You mean redistributing it to the slaves or
or to the union. You know,
or
they didn't
to
those original territory owners or plantation owners or whatever. They don't actually own that land. You know now.
no, actually, I think those same landowners were able to keep their land.
Okay, see, that was my question. Like, did they actually do the redistribution, or were they, was that just a suggestion and that never just came about or whatever? So for whatever reason.
Once the war was over, they were negotiated to be able to keep the land, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, power as Myers observed, but Sherman's plan only took shape after the meeting that he and Stanton held with those black ministers at 8 p.m. January 12th on the second floor of Charles Green's mansion on Savannah's Macon Street. In its broadest strokes, 40 Acres and a Mule was their idea, referring to these black ministers. We would have to look a little bit, go further up to read on who these black ministers are that their idea and shared this idea with Sherman and these other Republicans. But if I can continue, Stanton, aware of the great historical significance of the meeting, presented Henry Ward Beecher, Harriet Beecher Stowe's famous brother, a verbatim transcript of the discussion, which Beecher read to his congregation at New York's Plymouth Church, and which the New York Daily Tribune printed in full in its February 13th, 1865 edition. Stanton told Beecher that for the first time in the history of this nation, the representatives of the government had gone to these poor, debased people to ask them what they wanted for themselves. Stanton had suggested to Sherman that they gather, quote, the leaders of the local Negro community and ask them something no one else had apparently thought to ask. What do you want for your own people following the war? And what they wanted astonishes us even today. Who were these 20 thoughtful leaders who exhibited such foresight? They were all ministers, mostly Baptist and Methodist. Most curious of all to me is that 11 of the 20 had been born free in slave states, of which 10 had lived as free men in the Confederacy during the course of the Civil War. The other one, a man named James Lynch, was born free in Maryland, a slave state, and they had only moved to the South 2 years before. The other 9 members had been slaves in the South who became contraband and hence free, only because of the Emancipation Proclamation when Union forces liberated them. Their chosen leader and spokesman was a Baptist minister named Garrison Frazier, age 67, who had been born in Granville, North Carolina, and was a slave until 1857, when he purchased freedom for himself and wife for $1,000 in gold and silver. As the New York Daily Tribune reported, Reverend Frazier had been in the ministry for 35 years, and it was he who bore the responsibility of answering the 12 questions that Sherman and Stanton put to the group. The stakes for the future of the Negro people were high. And should I continue?
Yeah, go ahead if you need to continue, brother, and to solidify your point, bro. That's fine.
Yeah. There's a section, what became of the land that was promised. But this is talking about the 12 ministers, and I think that's appropriate for Black History Month. So I'll just finish that section, and then I can finish off where it says what became of the land that was promised. And I'll go quickly. And Frazier and his brothers did not disappoint. What did they tell Sherman and Stanton that the Negro most wanted? Land. The way we can best take care of ourselves, Reverend Frazier began his answer to the crucial third question, is to have land and turn it and till it by our own labor, and we can soon maintain ourselves and have something to spare. We want to be placed on land until we are able to buy it and make it our own. And when asked next where the freed slaves would rather live, whether scattered among the whites or in colonies by themselves, without missing a beat, Brother Frazier, as the transcript calls him, replied that, I would prefer to live by ourselves, for there's a prejudice against us in the South that will take years to get over. When polled individually around the table, all but one, James Lynch, 26, the man who had moved south from Baltimore, said that they agreed with Frazier. 4 days later, Sherman issued, I'm sorry, my phone just went out. 4 days
Oh, we
later,
hear you. Oh, go ahead. I hear you.
okay. Let's see, I lost my spot.
Oh, okay.
4 days later, Sherman issued Special Field Order number 15 after President Lincoln approved it. So it was approved by Lincoln. What became of the land that was promised? The response to the order was immediate. When the transcript of the meeting was reprinted in the Black publication Christian Recorder, an editorial note intoned that from this it will be seen that the colored people down south are not so dumb as many suppose them to be. Reflecting north to south, slave-free black class tensions that continued well into the modern civil rights movement. The effect throughout the South was electric. As Eric Fauner explains, the freedmen hastened to take advantage of the order. Baptist minister Ulysses L. Houston, one of the group that had met with Sherman, led 1,000 blacks to Skidaway Island, Georgia, where they established a self-governing community with Houston as the black governor. And by June, 40,000 freedmen had been settled on 400,000 acres of Sherman land. By the way, Sherman later ordered that the Army could lend the new settlers mules, hence the phrase 40 acres and a mule. And what happened? And what happened to this astonishingly visionary program, which would have fundamentally altered the course of American race relations? Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's successor and a sympathizer with the South, overturned the order in the fall of 1865, and as Barton Myers sadly concludes, returned the land along the South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida coasts to the planters who had originally owned it, to the very people who had declared war on the United States of America.
Oh, so that totally answers. Yeah. I'm glad you continue reading that. That totally answered my question.
Yeah, and that's the end of the article there.
Yeah. You got a wrench?
I do not.
Oh, okay. Can you go ahead and put that in this Zoom? Can you put that link or something?
I'll put it in there.
Got a link? Okay.
You reading the pbs.org one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that was a really good read, brother. I appreciate that.
Well, that's Henry Louis Gates. You already know it. He gonna do his due diligence.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, he can't fuck around.
Yeah, so I think that's very interesting with the discussion on reparations. We don't hear much of that talk anymore about land for reparations. And I think since we don't know what the discussion should be, I hear it being said a couple of times here that we'll leave that up to the smart people. Even the smart people today aren't even discussing this aspect of reparations. I'm not sure if it just seems to them as something that is just totally, not even on the table or even not even a question. It just seems as if something that can't even be asked. But
I think a lot comes with that though.
Yeah.
With land, right? I think that's where it becomes a little complicated because and I'm not saying no, land, no, we're not doing that. Like I ain't even close to saying that. Like I said again, I'm not even smart enough to know to where to begin and start. But I think with land, you run into issues like having the ability, the funds, the know-how to maintain it. And again, Black people are the people who build and maintain the United States, right? But I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of complications that come with the land. You know what I mean? I think there should be avenues to acquire. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind avenues or easier access and avenues to obtain and acquire land, right? But just passing out a bunch. I don't know. It just don't seem to me that don't seem like a very productive thing to do. You know what I mean? Now,
Yeah.
mind you, now if this is 1800s, early 1900s, okay, yeah, pass it out. You know what I'm saying? Pass the land out. But in this modern era here, I don't. I just to me, it just don't seem like the beneficial thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just in and of itself. I think a lot has to come with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can't help but think I think it's Ghana, in reparations for their role that they played in the slave trade, offers land to
Uh,
Africans in the diaspora as well, which I find interesting.
well, it's more difficult than one would lead you to one would lead one to believe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely
It
understand
takes
that.
quite a bit to be actual landowner in Ghana. I'm just going. If you're not a citizen, like bro, I wouldn't be planning on owning no land in Ghana, right? Right. I mean, I'm not saying like nobody's gonna do it. I'm just saying like, especially like in that aspect from a reparations aspect that they want to pay their debt back to society, right? They offered the repatriation, but the biggest thing with Ghana is they're willing to do business with African Americans. They're when it comes to business, they'll tend to look to the African American first. They want to give you the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, don't go to thinking like, oh, you know, they want to pay their debt so we can go over there and get some land. Nah. It ain't happening like that. It's homeowners over there right now that don't own the land that their homes are built on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But as unrealistic as it may seem with land reparations today, I still would agree with those ministers that land ownership it would be more productive than just say a cash out, just a payout of cash. Land is where
Oh yeah,
is
definitely.
where the power is. So I definitely understand it from that perspective. And let's hope that the smart people that we're talking about are as smart as we think they are. And perhaps never
So
say
our
never.
lives are in their hands every day. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, definitely. I hope they is too. We all are hopeful here. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
I remember when COVID hit, right? Um, no one was in a position to do nothing but just hope the smart people can take good care of us, right? You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Y'all killing it, man. Listen, we didn't had a hell of a show. You dig? I mean, I enjoyed this conversation, y'all. I really did. I enjoyed. We stayed almost within the rails. You dig what I'm saying?
I think we did a good job of staying in the
Yeah,
rails
we stayed within the rails. We need
today.
to practice that more often. Any last words? I don't want to I don't want to mess it up.
No, me neither. I think it's a good place to kind of end it up.
Yeah. If my last
Go
word
ahead,
is
Sunchild. You got something?
yeah, my last word is for you guys, especially you, Shafreen.
Mhm.
Thank you for doing these Black History Month programs that you're doing and recognizing those Black leaders. I think that's important, and I think you've done a good job of doing that. And I think it's
Appreciate
important.
that.
And I
Was you
would
one of the? Let me
allow.
ask though. Let me interrupt you, Sunchild. Was you one of the 300 people that asked that watched our Black History Month programs that we did last year?
Last year, I
So
can't say.
we did good shows and we put good time into them shows. We got like 300 views. We got 300 views on them. You know what I'm saying? But go
Okay,
ahead though. I'm sorry.
what were you guys with the pseudo killers at that time, or were you?
It was
No,
called Chef Madness.
yeah.
It's
No, I don't.
they still
No,
on this channel. They on this channel. So you just
yeah. I've only been on Steph's channel this year, or maybe late last year. So no, but
Go back
yeah.
and check those out, Sunshine. They pretty good shows, man. Go back and check them old ones out.
Yeah, and there might be some
Absolutely.
stuff we need to correct in them. So, check them out.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I encourage you to continue for the rest of the month to recognize our Black leaders.
Appreciate that, man. Definitely. And Sunchild, I learned a lot from you today, brother. Just to throw that out there, man. You brought a lot of things that I was kind of confused about. Like you kind of cleared, by the things you was reading today, you helped clear those things up. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah, you're welcome and thank you.
All right, peace, Sunchild.
Peace, bro. Yeah, Chef. Man, good job, brother. Good job. I look forward to having more conversations about the rich history of African Americans, man.
Man, look, I get off work football over tomorrow, over now, so we can really take advantage of Sundays. It's hard to take advantage of Sundays when football season.
Real football,
you know what I mean? So, we could do something tomorrow again and go a little bit deeper, but we're wrap. You know what I mean? Any last words?
No. I think, like you said, I think Sundays will be a great day. I think that's a good day for both of us, our schedules and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Everybody out there on YouTube land, man, appreciate y'all, man. Peace. Signing out, man. Go ahead, Chef. Take it away.
All right. Boom. See y'all, man. That's how you do a show. You heard me. We ain't had no arguing. You dig? We got some old down south hip hop, you know what I mean, jumping in the building. So everything went good. American Dream said we was off topic. I think we covered Black History Month, Black Egypt. I'm tripping. We covered Black History Month. We covered Carter G. Woodson. And we went into whether Black History Month is just for African Americans or did it grow to take on the history of Black people globally, right? For me, I said that Black History Month is both. It is both domestic history of Black people within the United States, and it's global also for me, right? Because again, like I said, the same reason why African Americans wasn't talked about respectfully in the United States history is the same is linked to the same reasons why we wasn't talked about respectively in world history. So for me, I can talk and chew gum at the same time. Before we leave, let's put my man Dundada back on. We're going to listen to that Sideways again, right? We're going to go back and listen to that Sideways. We're going to go back and listen to that Sideways. That man said he was sitting sideways. You know I keep that ratchet on me. Yo said, and he moved 2 blocks like a pawn play. He said he only moved 2 blocks like a pawn play. Hold on, let me put that back up, y'all. And we gonna let Dundada do this for y'all. He said, "This is my life." We on TV. Boom. There we go. Boom. Check him out. Corey, check my man out. South Carolina or North Carolina. It's one of them cities. 7 cities. Where the 7 cities at? It's between North Carolina and South Carolina, I think. It ain't Greenboro. Greenboro crazy.
Good news.
Mm,
Dundada.
We sit sideways. You can catch me sitting sideways. It's something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped cause I always keep a package on me. Dirty, you get serious niggas die here. Y'all niggas had it up to now. This is my year. I'm dirty, moving coke through the turnpike. These niggas call me Michael Jackson cause they know the dawn turned white. I live the goon's life and move with the moonlight. 100 bricks in the dark, I turn the room white. Greenville, yeah, we grinding round here, sitting sideways with guns aside the diamonds, tails. Step your swag up, I only move with smart dudes. And my trap pump more than your heart do. Fish scale, yeah, I'm scarred for life. Slanking bricks in the jungle, I got a Tarzan price. Plus the money longer than the vines he swing on. While y'all niggas breaking buds, we cutting bells with the chainsaw. Dirty, it's the clip when the cop man carbon 15. Got more drums than a rock band. Riding the drop man, I got plenty raw. White on white being the same color as some dinner floss. Fuck fat fish, scale boo the big fish. I'm so bready, you can call my money fish sticks. You can catch me sitting sideways and something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped cause I always keep a package on me. Dirty, it get serious niggas die here. Y'all niggas had it up to now. This is my year. Okay. I'm dirty and my eyes sitting real low. And the coupe doors up like I just kicked the field goal. And hop off in the Tahoe. I blow so much color purple, you can call me Hypo. Y'all niggas can't get close to the dawn. Yeah, I got more straps than your mom's throw to the dogs. Bloody dollar make you fatal, homie. If I kill you, only way they find you is they gotta cut a couple gators open. I've been gangster since I've been born. And these pussies niggas phonier than a 3-cent coin. I'm up in the game. I blow your fucking head off. Chopper so big that I can pull my fucking leg off. Sitting sideways. I gotta kill the track. I swear that daughter got my white the opposite of black. This game been mine, and y'all trying to get it back. And plus, I love all y'all haters shit. Opposite of track, and I got a red flag, and I got a red hoe, and I'm grinding off in China, so I'm getting red dough. Fuck a little beaner, gotta whip a red roll. In the inside Rudolph, outside red nose. I keep talking money, you heard I'm dead rich. They mean I got more fish and bread than Jesus fed with. You can catch me sitting sideways. It's something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped, so I always keep a package on me. Dirty, it get serious niggas die here. Y'all niggas had it up to now. This is my year. Okay, homie. Dirty. Now shit's about to get wicked. And bullets jumping out the chopper like some motherfucking crickets. Greenville, that's my home, nigga, Dirty Hill. Ain't nothing for a nigga to get murdered here. I'm moving quick fast for this quick cash and keep a package on me like a nigga with a shit bag. Fresh out of jail, so the Don doing the Conway. Hit the runway and holler fam off in Conway. This the Don way, matter of fact the Don day. And I only move 2 blocks like a pawn play. This my day off and don't feel like touching nothing. But I got some cocaine that's jumping like she double dutching. You can catch me sitting sideways, something pretty with the ratchet on me. I stay strapped, cause I always keep a package on me. Dirty, it gets serious niggas die here. Y'all niggas had it up to now, this is my year.
Yo, that brother is super talented, y'all. Yeah, I mean, y'all go check him out, Dundada. Yo, locked up right now, man. That was one of his last videos, man. That was like 2011, right? Like 2016, his, everybody started picking up on how good this guy was, right? And then he got locked up. So he doing the 8-year bid right now. He should be on his way home. He should be on his way home. You know what I mean? Yeah, he dope. He dope. He dope as I don't know what. And like that's just just his rhyme patterns, right? Just and then he got that down south accent, man. I'll put him up against name him. When somebody got that raw talent like that, man, it don't matter where they come from. I remember when we first heard Juvenile up here, right? First thing we recognize, oh, that nigga can rap. You feel me? Like we say, oh, he got the country accent, boom, 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 blase, blase. The first thing we recognize, this motherfucker can rap. You feel me? Like, so, shout out. But yo, we had an amazing show. He definitely, Tika, he definitely sound like Scarface. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play that another song, right? Of him sitting on the porch just killing it. Because he definitely sound like Scarface.
Grown man shit.
Niggas, introduce yourself first. Introduce yourself.
I already know who it is. Niggas don't know me. They don't know me. Goddamn, by the time you finish listen to this, I'm gonna be a baby. Favorite rapper.
Yo, this song, he like just listen to how he's actually doing a intro, right? And he's doing interludes all in the middle of freestyling this with doing the beat on the port. He's doing the whole song. Like, and it sounds like when he doing it, it's sounding like he can record that shit right there. It'll be fire. Like, it's crazy. This is no studio. This is just raw talent. Check him out.
Dundada. Hood news.
Like, goddamn.
Greenville.
Oh, my bad. And this is a story. This is a conversation between him and God. It's a whole song. Intro, interlude, and little intermissions that he's, having in between the verses. Man, it's crazy what this nigga doing. Fuck. Hold on. Yeah, this nigga mind is fucking out of this world.
Lord, I want to talk to you one time. Lord, you know you my nigga, right? They say you don't gotta come
No,
to
it's
you
not
with
off the
fancy
dome.
prayers and all that shit. You know what's on my heart? Shit, I'm gonna tell you what's on my heart. Can you talk back to me? I'm just saying, man, please be all right with me. Cause this is my life. There's something wrong with how I'm living. Hey, BK, watch how I kill this bitch. Lord, I don't know why. Please, if I'm wrong, then Lord, forgive me. Right here, okay? Now this is my life. Then why the fuck you worried about it? I ain't worrying about it. Why the fuck y'all worrying about it? I'm living. My destiny's what a cash is. Destiny's like a play, gotta be played to the last act. Matter of fact, survival was my forte. The name of the game is aggression. Fuck what the world say. Life. My life is real. Cat luck, I gotta die 9 times to live. Lord, please forgive my fuck continuous girl. Blowing purple, taking trips to the end of the world. Lord have mercy on my soul. I roll with an army, blowing purple blunt so fat they thought I was smoking Barney. Damu. I love it to death, died as a pit bull. Riding around serving spray raw like a skint bull. I'm a hustler, but I leave you all dead. Mr. Clean Streets, cleaner than Mr. Clean Ballhead. Plus I'm all red, blooded than a motherfucker. Married to the game, so I know the streets love me. Lord, when you judge, I know my jail is hell. I'm going down to Satan with my blow drove with scales. Me and Satan gonna sniff. I'ma blow the drove with my thug homies. We don't need no lighter. We in hell, homie. Pull on it. Something wrong with how I'm living. Lord, I don't know why. Please, if I'm wrong, then Lord, forgive me. Lord, can you talk to me one time? Check this out right here, though. Check this out. Now, Father, who art in heaven, please save me, son. Bless me, Father, for I thank you. I ain't trying to burn. Son, you give your soul to me. You have eternal life. No more worried about the struggle. You will finally see the light. Lord, I prayed every day, but the pain don't end. Prayed before I went to court and wound up in the pen. My beloved child, faith is how the blessing come in. You gotta believe in your heart. I sent my son to die for your sin. I don't know. I don't get it, Lord. Talk to me. How can I have faith in something I just can't see? This is a small example, son. Listen very closely. You can't see oxygen, but you believe you can breathe. Help me, God. See my situation I'm facing, got me encasing, embracing in hell is where you gonna place me. I give you blessing and lesson. You take my message for granted. Disrespecting my essence. I can't have you in heaven. Lord, you say you forgive for everything, and I know you don't lie. You forgive them all, we still go to hell when we die. That's a good one, Ranger, because I do forgive for everything, but if you keep doing the same, then I'm forgiving in vain. My life. And I know I'm doing dirt, Lord. Only got a couple bricks. Forgive me while I get them off. Forgave you for that hair run. Forgave you for that little charge. Forgave you for that hair run. I knew you'd be a dope boy. I'm living. Thank you one more time. I had to give you a piece of my mind. If I'm wrong, then Lord, forgive me. Yo, this is my life. Just talk to the Lord one time. I'm some grown man shit. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. It's crazy fucking talented. Right? Crazy, y'all. I just, every couple years I always click back on your page and listen to it, and it always jogged my mind like, God damn, this motherfucker was talented. Just imagine how many people we lose to prison, right? And just, ordinary street violence, right? Before they even get a chance for the world to see how talented they are. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy. But it's a great show, y'all. I could hang out for hours with y'all, but I'm getting tired. And I think we did our job. Great show. We're going to come back tomorrow and bring y'all another banger. All right? All right, y'all. We out. Peace. It's been a blast. Yo, get in the comments section after the show. You know what I mean? Anything that y'all wanted to say, any links that y'all want to drop, let me know. Any conversations y'all want us to have. Any research topics y'all want us to go into. Let us know. Man, we be doing 3-4 hour shows. It's a multitude of different things that we can put in these long ass shows that we be doing. There's so many different topics, right? I envision us to go through multiple topics a show. Right? So let's get it. All right? This is the Carnivorous Podcast. It's not my podcast. It's your podcast. I'm just here taking care of it for you. All right? We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.